Peace, family. Conjure Queen here, and welcome to the Spiritism and Mediumship class. Ashe, ashe, ashe. How's everybody doing up in the building? We're about to start class. Before we do, let me shout out some of you guys. Hold up, let me see who's up in the building. Hold up. So we have, what's up, Andre B, Ashe, Andrita Williams, Ashe, Tamika Brown, Ashe, Earth Angel 16, Ashe, Wit, Ashe, Paris, Asia H, Ashe, Kimberly Thomas, Nelly, what's up? King Montezuma, what's up, family? Quentin, what's up, Victoria? Ashe. Velma, what's up? Angelic Soul. Let's get some thumbs up, family. If y'all ready to start this class, let me see some shades and hit that thumbs up button because we about to go live and we about to go deep. It's already, I don't know about y'all, but I've been feeling the energies of the spirits all around me. Like, whoo! Halloween is right around the corner and the veil is thin, honey. I'm talking about like seeing spirits in our peripheral view, having dreams. My dreams been crazy. The full moon was really intense. So I don't know about y'all, but like, whew, the lucid dreams just been like off the chain. So ashe. Let's see. All right, so we got a couple of people up in here. I just wanted to like give some people some time to sign in because some people had signed up very last minute, and I just wanted everybody to, you know, get a fair amount of time to get into the class, get settled, and things like that. So we're about to get started, family. Ashe. I hope everybody is well. Ashe. So why there's always like one person who always thumbs down the video? I don't understand, y'all. Like, why would you pay for the class just to not like it? Who got time to waste money? Anyway, let's get going. So, this Scorpio season is intense. So I'm going to start the class. So pretty much what we're going to do, I hope you guys already did your grounding. You have your tea ready, your water, your rum, your wine, your cigar, your spliff, whatever you need to keep you mellow and calm. This class is, you know, estimated to be about 2 hours. So what we're going to do is, you know, go through the class, a little introduction, go through the class, and then, you know, after we go through the class, we're going to do a ritual. Then after the ritual, we're going to have a Q&A, right? For anybody that's new to the Divine Academy classes. So that's pretty much the format. So hold off on your questions. Write them down as we're going through the class. If you have questions that pop up in your head, write them down. So that way during Q&A, you can ask your questions, and we're going to try to get to as many questions as possible. And also I have a surprise for you guys, and I think you're gonna like it a lot. So make sure that you stay tuned all the way to the end, because yeah, it's gonna be interesting. I have a surprise. So let's get started. Alrighty. So let me turn this around. Everybody's ready to get started on the class. All right. I see it. We got a few people, more people coming in. All right. So let's get started. I made some time for the late people because sometimes, you know, we be on BP time. Let me turn the screen over so you guys can see. Y'all guys, before we start, let me make sure the audio is good. Let me know if the audio is good, if you guys can see me well and everything is okay before we get started, because I want to make sure that you guys can hear me, you guys can learn, because that's the whole point, to make sure you guys got this information. Ashe. Get your notebooks ready, a pen, and all of that good stuff. And I'm going to keep this class, I'm going to keep the video up, so if you guys already got the link, like, you're going to be able to go back to it, assess it, and, you know, because you don't want to just be trying to write down everything from the slides and really miss the experience of the class. Like, really just sit down and absorb the information and let it soak into your spirit, your subconscious mind. That way you can retain the information better, right? Ashe. So let's get started. Boom. All right, so I'm going to flip the screen so you guys can see. I got my tea and everything ready. Hold on. There we go. Share screen. I got so much stuff on my computer. I gotta delete some things so it could be a little faster. There we go. Share screen. Okay. So the screen share is started. I'm gonna open up the class. Let me turn this down just a little bit. What? Automatically display text of what you're saying while presenting? No, I don't want to do that. Why would they do that? Google be trying to do too much, I swear. Okay, so welcome, family, to the Spiritism and Mediumship class. Unlock the mysteries to the spiritual world. Ashe, ashe, ashe. So we're going to get started, right? So before we get started, I just want to give you guys a quick little disclaimer and a warning, right? So if you have a history of mental and or physical health issues, please see a medical professional before resorting to magic and spiritism. Some things are not the result of hauntings and spiritual phenomena. The information given in this class is very powerful, sacred knowledge. Please use with caution and responsibility. Warning, this video footage in class is the sole property of Divine Academy. Anyone caught sharing this footage without instructor's authorized approval will be penalized and permanently banished from all future events. Okay, so now that we got that out the way, let's go. So this is the class overview, right? What we're going to basically go through, what is spiritism and mediumship, right? The basics, what it means, a little brief history of it, how to identify spirits, the different types of spirits, because there are many, right? There's different spirits, different ways to work with them and all of that good stuff. Venerating ancestors, right? Necromancy, which is the art of dealing with the dead. How spirits communicate with us, feeding spirits and offerings. Benevolent and malevolent spirits, because there's a huge difference between the two, right? Practical methods to contact spirit, invocation and evocation. Practical safety measures, because you always got to practice safety in any type of skill or trade. And we're going to do a live ritual. So we're going to also cover some other aspects within this class, like banishing, summoning spirits, and things like that. But we're going to get into that a little bit further on into the class. Okay, so let's go. So first of all, spiritism and mediumship. Before you can understand and know an art or science, you have to know the etymology of the word to really understand what it means, right? So the definition of spiritism. Spiritism is the study of the nature, origin, and destiny of spirits and their relations with the corporeal world, right? Okay, spirit originates from the Latin word spiritus, right? Which was the secret password to get into the group, right? So spiritus, which stems from the word spirare, which means to breathe, right? The breath of life, right? Spirit. So medium originates from the Latin word medius or medius, which literally means middle. So being a medium means to be the middleman or the middle woman between mortals and immortals, humans and gods, the living and the dead. So if you have this gift of mediumship, the gift to see spirits, to hear spirits, to feel spirits, to channel, to divine, to be an oracle, right? If you have this gift to see beyond the veil, because there's some people that's born with this gift, you get me? That means that you have been specifically blessed and chosen to have the destiny to be a medium between the human world and the God world. Like, that's a huge responsibility. So you just need to like pat yourself on the back, because you know what they say, with like great power comes great responsibility. So as you're learning more about your gifts and your powers, like, you really need to learn how to exercise discipline as well. because there's some people who have this gift, but they use it for selfish and evil means, and it usually turns against them, right? But in this class, we're going to pretty much be teaching you how to harness this energy, how to work with this energy, and also how to identify what type of medium you are. Okay, so let's get into that. Right. So understanding Spiritism. The art of Spiritism dates back to ancient Kemet, which is also known modern day Egypt, right? So communicating with the dead could help foretell the future. One of the things that the ancient Egyptians did, like they were known as being the most powerful magicians of all time, because people from all around the world would come to ancient Kemet to learn their sciences, to learn their magic, to learn about their spiritual culture, their history. It was the ancient Egyptians that actually taught civilization so much that it knows: language, science, arts, mathematics, all of that. We got to give credit to ancient Egypt, right? So we got to realize that Kemet pretty much means like land of the blacks, right? Black, the color black. And whenever they talk about black magic, it's not black magic meaning evil, but more so black magic meaning the magic of the blacks, because that's what they used to call it back in antiquity. They called the ancient Kemites, because their skin was so dark, they called them black people, right? Black, they were black like tar. They were really dark. So they reformed to black magic as being the ancient magic of the Egyptians, of the Kemites. So it's only until recently that society makes black magic an evil thing, because they want to keep you away from where the true power is, right? So spirits could help solve mysteries. One of the things that the ancient Kemites used to do, the royalty, like the pharaohs, the kings, the queens, they would have their priesthood do divination. They knew how to like do necromancy, like summon the dead. The dead can help them see into the future, because humans, we can't do that. Our time and space here is linear, but in the spiritual world, it's multi-dimensional. There is no time, there is no space, right? So they can tap into the future really easy and come back and tell us what's going on. Even sometimes the pharaohs, like let's say for instance, somebody had died mysteriously, or there was like a murder case and they wanted to solve it. They would summon up the dead, the person who died, and say, listen, who killed you? Tell us who killed you so that we can sentence them. Like they had the power to do that, to rise up the dead, right? Look that up. Like the ancient Kemites were known for like their burial rites and funeral rites. Like they even said, the Greeks even said once that the Egyptians are morbid because all they do is worship the dead. But the Greeks didn't understand that there's an ancient science when it comes to spiritism. It's not as spooky as they make it seem today. So also the pharaohs would send their enemies, like the pharaohs would send spirits to their enemies, either to cause their enemies harm or to spy on their enemies to see what they were planning to do. This is why the dynasties were able to thrive for so long, because they had the secret magic and knowledge that allowed them to foretell when an enemy was coming, what their enemies had planned. You understand, like how to prepare themselves for war and all that other type of stuff. Through spiritism, incurable diseases could be healed. So there were spirits that came to, remember what I said about time and space. Like, even though we're talking about a civilization that's like thousands and thousands of years old, they had a lot of medicinal and healing knowledge, because these spirits were able to bestow this knowledge upon them. This is what I'm trying to tell people, that spiritism is not something spooky, but do you realize the power that you can have if you knew how to correctly channel and communicate with spirits? Like, you can heal people. You can find cures for, like, quote unquote, incurable diseases. Like, this is what the ancient Kemites were doing. This is why people from all around the world went to Egypt, because they knew that they were miracle workers. That's what they called them, miracle workers, right? So through spiritism, they could cure diseases. Spirits have only recently been demonized due to pop culture. So when you see a lot of horror movies and scary movies about hauntings and evil spirits and ghosts, honestly, most of the time spirits are not even like that. Okay, you got to try to think about it this way. And as I always tell all of my students, as you come into the class, you want to come with an open mind, like an empty cup. So you don't want to come into this class thinking that, oh my God, spirits are evil, spirits are, scary, oh my God, something's going to pop out and scare the hell out of me. Like, this is what society and pop culture puts out to you because they've conditioned you to be afraid of your own power. They know what this power is. What do you think they're doing in the Vatican? What do you think all of those ancient magical books and texts and wisdom went? They took all of the books in Alexandria and they took it into the Vatican. Okay, like that's where all of the information and the knowledge is at. And this is not no conspiracy theory. This is a fact. So you guys need to do your own research into that when you get a chance. But the media has been fooling a lot of us. So those who have the gift to see and speak with spirit were highly revered back in ancient Kemet. Like, people who were able to see spirits and channel things and see beyond the veil. And back in the day, those children who had the gift to see beyond the veil were blessed as shamans, or they was trained with like the chief of the tribe, and they were taught how to harness this power and teach the children like how to harness their gifts, how to use it to help the community, the tribe, the village. But nowadays, people who have these gifts are called crazy, you're mentally ill, oh, you bugging, oh, you're schizophrenic, you're socially unfit. Like, they automatically label the child as being like, mentally retarded or having learning disabilities. Like, they always try to label the children because they know that these children have gifts. So what better way to destroy a child's gifts than to make them feel like something's wrong with them? Right? It'll make you feel like, you know what, everybody's calling me crazy, so let me just stop seeing these invisible people. Let me stop talking about it. I don't want these gifts anymore. It makes me feel like I don't belong, like an outsider. And nobody wants to feel like that. So it forces these children to close off their third eye and to blend in with the rest of society. And this has been planned. I'm telling you guys, you have gifts. So if your children tell you, mommy, daddy, I'm seeing spirits, or I saw auntie, she came to me in a dream, don't make them feel scared like, oh no, you're crazy. Be like, okay, baby, tell me about your dream. You know what? Okay, this is what you do. Next time you see the spirit, you do this, you do that, da 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 da. Okay, like, you want to nurture their gifts. Now we're going to go into identifying spirits, right? So there are various ways to identify spiritual phenomena. Like I was saying earlier, everybody has specific gifts and talents, different ways that they can see beyond the veil, right? And everybody's gifts is not the same. Some people don't even know that they have a gift because they think that they're supposed to be seeing spirits, but in honesty, they probably can smell spirits, right? So we're going to get into that. The 5 types of psychic senses. There's hundreds of different types, but these are the main 5 that you want. These are the main 5 common ones, right? So first, we're going to go into clairvoyance, which is sight, right? Psychic sight. Clairvoyance means to have clear seeing. These are people that can actually see spirits, like they can see beyond the veil. They can see manifestations. They probably see orbs. They probably see shadows. They could probably see silhouettes of a spirit. You get what I'm saying? Like, they can see the aura or the halo around a person. They can see a spirit on top of a person's head. Like, they can literally see things, right? Like, they could just be chilling there and see a spirit just chilling on the sofa next to them. Like, these people have the gift of sight. Now, understand too that you may not actually be able to see the spirit physically, like a physical person standing in front of you, but sometimes you may see them in a corner of your eye, right? Like, that's your third eye opening or trying to adjust to seeing beyond the veil. And there's ways to open up your third eye and see again. For, let's say you used to have this gift, and you probably closed your third eye off because you was afraid, right? Maybe you saw some scary things when you were younger. There's a really good movie on Netflix called The Firstborn. Make sure you see that, The Firstborn, right? And basically it's a movie about this child who has the gift of sight. She could see spirits, like good spirits and evil spirits. And like, I'm not going to ruin it for y'all. Just go and see it, but it's really, 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 really good, right? And based on a true story. So that's everybody knows about clairvoyance, but not everybody is a clairvoyant. Okay, that's just what everybody knows, like the pop culture saying, oh, I'm a clairvoyant. No, some people, not everybody can see. The next one is number 2, which is smelling. Some people can smell spirits. Like, you ever could just be walking and you smell like sage, or you smell like a beautiful perfume, and you be like, oh my God, what does that smell? Where did that come from? And nobody else smells it but you. You know, or sometimes you may smell like your grandma's famous, I don't know, fried chicken. She used to make this really good fried chicken, and like you haven't smelled that in years, and out of nowhere you get a whiff of it. You know, that could be the spirit letting you know that they're near you, they're close to you. Some people can smell things and it'll just bring up an old memory, right? So the sense of smell, which is called clairalience, is pretty much what a person can smell the spirits. They can smell spiritual phenomena. Sometimes people can smell when danger is about to happen, right? So let's say if you smell like sulfur, or burning tar, or like a dead rat or rotten meat, it means that there's an evil spirit that's present. There's an evil spirit around that you want to pretty much protect yourself and cleanse and banish. It could be, and sometimes you could even smell somebody else's spirit, right? Like that person could probably have really good hygiene, but if you smell like a really rancid, like every time you're around this person, you just smell something that's just like, what is wrong with this person? Their hygiene is okay, but it's like their spirit stinks. It's a warning. Either that person has a really bad spirit, or it's probably a bad spirit that's clinging onto them. So these are terms that you also want to look more into and figure out how to harness this smell. And the best way to develop this gift is like by practicing, right? So for clairvoyance, you could put a little bit of tiger balm, which is like a menthol, what they call a salve. Like you put it on your third eye, just like a little dab, and you meditate, and it's supposed to help activate your third eye. For the clairalience, what you could do is for clear smelling, I would say start to develop your sense of smell. Like blindfold yourself and like have like a friend or somebody like test you with smelling different things, like smelling lavender and smelling like different essential oils and different aromas. So that way you can start to develop and be more keen on your sense of smell, and you'll be more alert and aware of the smells around you. Even taking a walk through the park or whatever, just stop and really smell the roses. Smell, like inhale and see what you smell around you. Because sometimes we just go and we don't pay attention to these things. So number 3, which is sound. Some people can hear spirits, right? You ever been like, let's say you hanging out with a friend or whatever, and you could have swore you heard that person say something to you, and you'd be like, what you say? And that person be like, I didn't say nothing. You probably heard their thoughts. You probably heard their spirit talking to you, or you probably heard a spirit somewhere around you. So somebody, actually, a shaman that I was speaking to once told me, he was like, whenever you're sitting with a person, you hear like you hear a voice and they tell you, oh, I didn't say nothing. I wasn't calling you. That wasn't me. Or you hear somebody call your name. It could be that person's spirit, or you can be picking up on that person's energy, that person's thinking field, right? Because thoughts are things. Thoughts is energy. So you are picking up on the energy of that person around you. And sometimes it could be somebody from a far distance, right? Remember, there's no time and space in the spiritual world, in the astral world. So people who have clairaudience can hear spirits. They can actually hear like a vibration. You might hear your ears might ring a lot, or you might hear like a buzzing noise in your ear. It could be really quiet in the house, but you just hear this loud buzzing in your inner ear. And Bobby Hemmett also talks about the inner ear and what that means spiritually. So you want to look into that, the inner ear. Aleister Crowley talks about that as well, right? So clear hearing. So one way that you could practice with developing your clairaudience, if you're a clairaudient, is to just sit quietly and listen to all of the sounds around you. Listen to, what's going on the outside, what's going on inside your house, what's going on in your body. Some people are so conscious and aware that some people can hear their own heartbeat. Some people could hear like the blood flowing through their veins, their organs moving around. Like that's how you want to be. You want to be so in tune and in keen with the universe that you can literally hear the rhythm of the universe, because the universe is always playing a song. You just have to be in tune and listen, right? So that is the third type of clear. Well, there's like 5 different clears. So I'm just gonna say that's the third type of psychic sense, is clairaudience. Okay. And these people tend to love music as well. Like they have an ear for music, like hearing all the little different instruments and stuff like that. So if you guys, and I'm not promoting this, but if you guys ever had like a psychedelic or ever did like any type of like mind altering type of like substance, like even sometimes like THC, you notice if you listen to music, like listen to some binaural beats, you'll notice that you'll hear every single instrument playing in the song. Like you could play a song that you heard 1,000 times, but when you listen to music, when like you're in an altered state of mind, you just, the music sound better. You pick up on things you never even heard of. You'd be like, wow, like I didn't know this song was so dope, you know? So that's just, you know, a little tip that I would say. Listen to music whenever you're in a higher state of consciousness, even when you just finish meditating and you feel like euphoric, right? So the next one is touch, right? So clairsentience, which is clear feeling. This is people that can feel spirits, right? So with these type of people, you may get like goosebumps. You may feel like the spirit brushing up against you. We're going to get into the different types of feelings as well. Like when the spirit touches you or pricks you, like if it's a good spirit around, like if it's a good energy, you'll feel warm and you'll feel like a nice gentle touch, a nice caress. But if it's like a dark energy, if you go into an environment that's really dark or, you know, low vibrational or just bad vibes, you'll feel like either you'll start to feel sick, like your body will start responding to it, like you'll feel nauseous or you'll get a headache, or you may feel like, you know, creepy type of chills. Your body may start, you may start feeling like something's pricking you or, you know, stabbing you. It just won't feel comfortable. You'll be like, damn, I got to get out of here. Like you ever been in somebody's house and, you know, some people, you just feel so comfortable in their house. You just feel like you want to kick off your shoes and relax and fall asleep. And then there's some other people, you go to their house and as soon as you step in the door, like you don't even want to sit down. You don't want to drink nothing. You don't want to eat none of their food. You just want to hurry up and haul ass out of there. Like that's your spirit, basically. You're probably a clairsentience because you can feel the vibes, right? Like empaths tend to be natural clairsentients. Like they can feel people's energy, literally. They can feel other people's emotions. So that's another form of clairsentience. A way to develop your clairsentience abilities to feel better is to be more in tune with your feelings, right? So feelings is physical as well as emotional. So you can pick up on, you can feel things emotionally and you can feel things physically. You can feel spirits touching you. Let's say if there's like a spirit around you who's really sad or like, you know, maybe there's a spirit who committed suicide, or maybe there's a really depressed spirit that hasn't finished business. You may pick up on that vibe and you may just start feeling sad out of nowhere. Be like, why am I feeling like this? Why am I crying? Like maybe there's a spirit around you that needs your help, that wants you to help them. Maybe they need help crossing over. So you really want to learn how to like really develop this skill of feeling, being in tune with your feelings and not blocking them off. Okay, so like if you're like an air sign or like a earth sign, like you just don't like to show your feelings or you don't know how to process emotions, like you really want to develop this because you could be blocking your own self from your clairsentience abilities, right? So the fifth one is taste, right? Psychic sense of taste, which is I can never say this word, clairgustance, right? So clairgustance basically means clear tasting. So this is one of the like rare type of psychic senses, but it's real because I'm going to tell you, I had this experience before. Like I remember before, like I just got this weird metallic, like a metallic taste in my mouth. And I'm like, what the hell is that? And, you know, I brushed it off, but then I started paying attention, like this taste comes up and I'm like, okay, it's a certain spirit that comes around me that whenever the spirit comes around me, I get that taste in my mouth. And I'm like, what the hell? You know what I'm saying? I don't know if this spirit probably had braces. This spirit probably has like some type of issue. I don't know. But every time the spirit came around, I got like a metal taste in my mouth. So you wanna be aware of, if you may have clairgustance, you can taste get certain taste in your mouth, unexplained taste. Like you may get like this really nasty tart taste, or sometimes you can get like this really like savory, like juicy, nice sweet taste in your mouth. You're like, oh, what's that? You know, like there's some people who can taste pain. You know what I'm saying? There's some people who can taste pleasure. So this sometimes it's the senses, the physical senses is only a shadow of what the spirit picks up. So your spirit is picking up on a certain stimuli, but your body may pick it up in the sense of your taste buds, if that makes sense. So one way that I would say to develop your sense of clairgustance is honestly to just be in tune with these different types of taste, to understand what your palate is like. You know, what taste makes you feel nauseous, what taste actually appeals to you. You know, pay attention and write these things down, like have a journal with you at all times, or even write it in your notes, you know, when you're picking up on these different type of psychic phenomena. Because it's not you bugging, like you're not bugging, you're not imagining things, like your spirit is talking to you. So like I said, this is one of the weird ones, but it's still people out there who have it. It just is not as common. You don't hear about it. Right? So another way that can help you to identify spirits and, you know, spiritual phenomena around you is meditation and mindfulness. Because one thing that I realize is that people who meditate often tends to be more in tune with those things that's happening around them. You know, people that's just busy and hurrying up and rushing to work, rushing to school, they don't really look up, they don't look around them, they're not aware of what's happening. Like they tend to miss out on the gifts that spirit is giving them, right? Like a lot of people, they realize that when they start to meditate more and they go through a certain spiritual awareness, that they start to notice those angel numbers like 222, 333, 555. You know what I'm saying? Like they start to see these things because now they're slowing down. They're paying attention to what's going on around them, the time. You know, they actually pay attention and say, wait a minute, I've seen this number a couple of times today. Like, what's going on? And it forces you to slow down and say, wait a minute, like, what does this mean? Then it stops you to look it up. And next thing you know, you're meditating more, you're more in tune, you're more focused. Drinking a hot cup of mugwort tea is great for opening up spiritual channels, right? So these are little tips that's going to help you guys to develop your psychic senses. And, you know, if you already got the materials for the rituals today, you should have some mugwort tea. So get you some mugwort tonight. You know, even in the night of Halloween, I would say drink some mugwort, and that's going to help you to be more psychic, to be more in tune. You know, before you do your meditation, your yoga, before you go to bed, mugwort opens up your psychic senses, and it helps you meditate easier. Right. So you want to also practice daily meditation. Now, daily meditation, it could be 5 minutes a day, you know, before you wake up, before you go to sleep, but you want to make sure you meditate every day. You want to make it a ritual, right? Like you get up in the morning, you go brush your teeth, wash your face, and then you go and you meditate for like 5 minutes, and then you go about your day, or you take a shower, go about your day. But you want to try to incorporate at least 5 minutes to meditate. Okay. So that helps you to also tune into the spiritual world whenever you want to. So you can just tune in like a remote, you know what I'm saying? It won't take you long to get into that state of consciousness where you can tap in. Whenever you're doing divination, like tarot readings, oracle readings, you got to be relaxed. They always tell you got to relax yourself. You got to be grounded. You got to be centered, because you have to tap into a different form of consciousness. But when you meditate every day, you're training your brain to know when to tune into that certain frequency wavelength at will, right? It'll take you less time to get to that state. So that's why you have to train and develop yourself. The human body needs to be trained, right? Just like a child, just like a pet, like you have to train it. It's under your control, okay? And most spirits will not reveal themselves if they sense fear. So one thing that I will recommend, though, is that you have to let go of that fear of spirits, like being scared of ghosts. Something's going to pop out and scare you. Like, I'm not saying that all spirits are Casper-friendly ghosts, but I'm just saying that spirits are just like people. They just don't have a physical body. Once you start to look at it that way, like, okay, you know what, this is just like another person that needs help, but I just probably can't see this person. I probably can't touch this person, but I know that their energy is still there, because energy doesn't die and it's not created. It just gets transferred. Right? So stop fearing. Don't fear the spirits, because fear only attracts low vibrational spirits. Okay, you don't want to do that. So you want to be courageous. You want to show them that you're not afraid. That's like a bully. You know, if a bully sees that you're scared of them, then they're going to keep bullying you. But when you show them that you don't have no fear in your heart and you're not even fazed by them, they're going to leave you alone. So that's the same approach that you need with spirits. Okay. So another way that you can have the spirits identify themselves is by asking, right? Asking, you shall receive. You have to put it out there, because the universe, the spirits respect the law of free will, right? The law of free will states that a spirit cannot intercede without your consent, right? But you want to be concise when you're asking a spirit for something to avoid confusion or summoning the wrong energy. So the more specific you could be, the better. Ask and it shall be given to you. Seek and ye shall find it. Knock and it shall be opened unto you. Matthew, right? This is in the Bible, right? And the Bible is a really powerful spiritual grimoire. If a lot of y'all don't know of, the Bible has a lot of spells in it, and there's a lot of magic in there. So you want to check out the Bible, the King James Version. Check it out. There's a lot of stuff in there, y'all. I'm telling you. Okay. Now we're going to get into the different types of spirits. Let me take a sip of my tea for a second. Ooh. All right. The different types of spirits. So you have different ranks of spirits. No spirit is better than another spirit. They're just different families. Let's look at it that way, right? Like different families, different tribes had different type of spirits, different type of energies. And some energies work better with other people. Some people like to work with saints. Some people like to work with Lua. Some people like to work with different types of energies that work with them. And it also depends on what your ancestors work with, because certain bloodlines, they tend to, the spirits, let's say your great grandma used to work with the saints, you know what I'm saying? Because of back in the day, a lot of our ancestors, they weren't able to have a lot of African descended children. They weren't able to, the people then weren't able to venerate their gods, because if they did, well, the slave masters would, hurt them, punish them, kill them, humiliate them. So they figured out a really smart way to say, you know what, okay, we'll still venerate our gods, but we'll just use their saints, as a face. To this day, some people still do that. A lot of people don't do that anymore because we don't have to, but with habit, I guess they just continue the tradition. So we're going to get into that as well. Okay. Now, saints, these spirits were living humans at one time, right? So these type of spirits are best for beginners. However, there are some exceptions, hence Saint Expedite, right? So Saint Expedite, this is one thing I would say about Saint Expedite. If anybody knows me, I've seen some of my videos, I always talk about Saint Expedite, how he works fast. There's tons of testimonials about Saint Expedite. He is a miracle worker and he gets the job done. However, Saint Expedite is a trickster. So you have to be specific on what you ask for. Remember what I said before about being specific in what you want. Because if you say, oh, I want to, what was it? You could just make up something. I don't know. You could just be like, oh, I want this, I want that. But if you don't specify what do you want, oh, I want some money. He'd be like, okay, you find $1 on the floor, the next day. And that's him giving you money. But you didn't specify what. It could be finding a quarter on the ground. You found some money came your way, but you didn't specify how much. You get me? But he still wants his payment. Saint Expedite's still going to expect his pound cake, and he's still going to expect his shout out. And if you don't give that to him, well, then he takes back whatever he gave you and then some. So that's why not all saints are all good. Some of them are a little tricky. You get me? A little mischievous. And the 21 division, Saint Expedite is also the son of the child of Saint Martha and Baron. But that's a whole nother segment. But yeah, saints tend to be, they were once living people. The reason why saints tend to work faster for humans is because they had the human experience. So they have more of an understanding of what the human is going through. Like they understand pain, they understand heartbreak, they understand vengeance, they understand, sorrow, they understand poverty, they understand, going through all types of human experiences. So that's why the saints tend to be more faster working than, let's say, trying to work with like the gods, because gods, they never were human before. So they don't know what human emotions are. They can't really understand it. They try to sympathize with it, but they don't really have an understanding like the saints would. Okay, so these are humans who have developed themselves spiritually, where they were able to be elevated to saint level, saint status, right? Somewhat deified. Okay. Now the Orisha, right? African spirit, the Orisha are African spirits who identify with children from the African diaspora. Some Orisha are a bit more volatile and require experience. So some people say, well, you got to be initiated to work with the Orisha. I don't believe that's true. There's some Orisha, like I was saying previously, that some people have certain deities that follow them through bloodline. So let's say your great grandma used to work with some Orisha, your great great granddad, he used to work with the Orisha, he was an Ifa priest or whatever, right? Because he worked with those spirits tend to follow along with the children and the descendants of the ancestors. They follow you, they protect you, they guide you. They'll probably even present themselves to you, whether it's through visions, through dreams. You may keep seeing the spirit name pop up all over the place. They try to get your attention. Okay, one book that I would definitely recommend is the Encyclopedia of Spirits. Okay, so that way you can really understand and learn more about these different type of spirits. So that way you can understand, their emblems, their signs, their, what their synchronism is. That way you can get a better understanding of the spirit. Encyclopedia of Spirits. That's also in the PDF form in the Divine Academy Facebook group, right? So if you didn't already enter the group, I had sent out the link for that as well. So with the Orisha, let's say, one of the spirits that I would say are a little bit hot is like a Oya. Like Oya could be very hot, very tempered. Like there's some cool spirits like Obatala. Obatala is really cool. He's really chill. He's more synchronized with like Lady of Mercy. But Oya can be very hot. She's like a Kalima, like she's very, destructive. She's a very chaotic energy. Not saying she's evil. Don't get that confused with evil, but some people just can't handle that type of energy if they don't know what they're doing, because they're gonna flip their whole house upside down. You get me? That's what tornadoes do. Oya represents tornadoes, whirlwinds, storms, right? We're talking about the X-Men Storm. That's a lot of the X-Men and Marvel comics is from the Orisha, from African gods. Yep. So look into that. So the Lua is the Haitian spirits who identify with those of Haitian descent or certain mixed tribes from Africa. The Lua can be extremely hot and not for the average beginner. The Haitians, we got to understand, before you work with a spirit, you got to do your research into it. Understand, where do they come from? Why is the spirit the way, why do they behave the way that they do? A lot of the Haitian spirits, like the Petro spirits, were actually recently created like on the land of Haiti, and it was only to help them to overthrow the conquerors. So a lot of the Haitian Petro spirits tend to be very hot, and they were created to destroy, to fight, for war. Like they're very hot tempered. They're ready for blood. You understand? Like they have a low patience for beginners because they expect that you know what to do if you're channeling them. So before you channel any type of spirit, you want to do your research. You want to understand like what they like, what they don't like, how to petition them, how to work with them, what colors they like, what offends them. Because you don't want to put yourself in a sticky situation because you didn't, you decided to pull up some crap online, some free information online, and that person made up some crap, and now your whole family and household's in danger. You get me? So you got to be careful when you work with these spirits. Not to be afraid, but to be cautious. And a lot of these spirits too, like I said, when you know your legacy, when you know like what your background is, where you come from, like that could give you a clue and a hint to like what spirits you're supposed to connect with. And sometimes if, let's say for instance, you're adopted, or like, your family don't really know their history and nobody really knows where they're from and things like that, the spirits will come to you. And that's what we're going to pretty much do in the ritual, in the group ritual later on, towards the end of the class. So that way you can open up the portal and the channel for spirit to communicate with you by giving them your consent to assist you, to help you, to tell you who you are, right? They're going to come to you because this is the perfect time to do so. Now, the Neteru, right? The Neteru are ancient deities who originate in Kemet, aka ancient Egypt. Very little information can be found on these spirits because they are extremely powerful. And this is one of the reasons why they are, how can I say, they took a lot of the sacred texts and a lot of the sacred hieroglyphs on the wall. They started blotting them out and carving them out, and they're taking them to England, and it's just crazy. A lot of crazy stuff is going on because they don't want you to know the ancient Kemetic powers. Like, there's a lot of ancient Kemetic magic that you won't find online. You get what I'm saying? Because a lot of this stuff was so powerful that the elite don't want you to use that against them. So they got to take that away from you. They don't even want you to know about it. They don't even speak much about it. You don't even think about it. When you go to the spiritual stores and those botanicas, you don't see Egyptian magic. You don't see Egyptian gods. You see a lot of more like the Yoruba, the Ifa, Yoruba, Santeria, the Haitians, the 21 divisions, but you don't really see Kemetic gods. You even see Hindu gods. You even see, you know what I'm saying? You see that, but you don't really see the Egyptian gods. And you got to ask yourself, why is that? So one thing that I would definitely recommend if you really want to work with the Egyptian gods, one thing that I noticed with them is that you have to build a direct relationship with them, because their relationship with one person might be completely different with you. And that's with all spirits, but the Neteru, they're so ancient that they really they don't have time to be playing around with people that's not serious about elevating their spirit. All right. Like, you got to cleanse yourself. You got to go through a ritual cleansing and all the other stuff for them to approach you. Like, there's levels. I would definitely recommend reading up on, there's a book called Ancient Egyptian Magic by Eleanor Harris, right? Ancient Egyptian Magic by Eleanor Harris. You want to write that down, but I'll probably put that up in the class as well. So you definitely want to work with the Neteru. They're really powerful spirits. Then there's demons, which is a whole nother topic. Demons is interesting. Demons, demons have just recently been titled as evil, but they're not evil. Like, not all demons are evil. They're just a different type of energy. Now, some demons may be tricksters. Some demons may require blood sacrifices. Most demons do. They like blood because that's more like a lower vibrational type of thing, right? Like, some Lua are considered demons. Some spirits are considered demons. But like, for instance, there's different aspects of Saint Martha, right? There's Martha the saint. Then there's Saint Martha, that's the actual snake. Then there's Saint Martha that comes in a demon form when she wants to destroy enemies. Like, there's different aspects of different spirits, right? So you have to learn the different aspects of different sides, what their diets are, what their colors are. If you really want to work with the spirit, that's the best way to really just learn more about them. Get the Encyclopedia of Spirits. Because not all spirits want to work with you. Some people, dealing with demons, there's actually some demons that are, there's a saying that everybody's born with a demon, right? Like, we all have demons. Some demons protect us. There's some demons that actually protect you, that keep you out of harm's way. There's some demons that look out for you, that destroy your enemies for you, who won't harm you. You get me? Like, and there's some demons that just actually bestow knowledge upon you. Like, you want to look into this. You want to be careful, though, with summoning demons, because they say that the demons are actually older than the gods, they're older than humans, and they are known sometimes as Nephilim, the fallen angels, the jinn, right? The black smoke that came without fire. So they came before the light, right? Because there was darkness before there was light. And then in the beginning, God said, let there be light. So before there was light, there had to be an absence of light. So that must have been the demons that they was talking about, right? So that's just something that you want to look into. It's a little, contradictory to what a lot of us been taught. But that's just something that you want to look into, what demons really are. Learn more about that, so that way you won't be afraid. Because remember, society will tell you whatever they want you to think to keep you away from the knowledge. Archangels, messengers and soldiers of God. Now, archangels tend to be more like in the Kabbalah magic, right? Dealing with higher magic, dealing with like Archangel Michael, Archangel Raphael, Archangel Uriel. Like these different archangels have different purposes. Most people know Saint Michael for his protection. Saint Michael is not all love and light. Saint Michael, I've seen Saint Michael fuck some people up bad, but he works when things are justified. Like you won't send Saint Michael to, you know, destroy somebody like for a hex just for no reason, especially if it's not justified, because Saint Michael will end up beating you up. So like I said, when it comes to certain type of spirits, like a demon, you can send a demon to do some work for you and it don't have to be justified. But if the price is right, the demon might be like, listen, if you give this to me, you give that to me, I'll do whatever you say. I don't care about all that moral stuff. You know what I'm saying? Archangels are more morale because of the type of energies that they are, you know, there's different heavens, there's different ranks, there's different spiritual levels, there's different, you know, spiritual hierarchies to look into, right? So archangels tend to be more willing to work with people, you know. A lot of beginners, newbies work with archangels and stuff like that. The most that I would say, if a spirit don't want to work with you, they won't do you no harm. They'll just ignore you. But if you keep bothering the spirit after they done gave you hints that they don't want to be bothered with you, then, you know, then it's like kind of knocking on somebody's door over and over again. And then finally they open the door and they curse your ass out. You get me? So you got to be careful with infuriating them. Now, ancestors are different, right? Ancestors are different than archangels, demons, Neteru, because ancestors come from you. They are your direct bloodline, your blood relatives that have crossed over. They have lived before, they had a human experience, so they will be more quicker to work with you than, let's say, the saints, than the Neteru, than the archangels, because the ancestors have a direct connection to you, right, through blood. However, not all ancestors are good. Keep that in mind. Some ancestors don't mean you well. Some ancestors don't like what you're doing, and they actually may block you. So when we summon our ancestors, we got to say to our ancestors, known and unknown, who mean us well, right? And we're going to get into that. We have an incantation during the live ritual that's going to specify the type of spirits that we want to attract to us. Always specify what you want, right? Now we're going to get a little bit more into ancestors. Now, ancestors means to pay homage, right? To honor, to show reverence. Remembering our ancestors gives them power. Lighting ancestor money helps activate them, right? Ancestor money, called Joss paper. Burning ancestor money activates your spirits, because let's say if nobody in your family has been venerating your ancestors, they've been asleep for a long time. So you got to wake them up, activate their energy, and get them moving again, right? Get that energy flowing. Make an ancestor altar, make an altar for your ancestors. So when you set up a certain space for your ancestors, you want to make sure that the space is clean, you know, that you tend to it regularly, you change the water, you feed them, you give them fruits, flowers, incense, prayer, you know, perfume, cigar, rum, coffee, tobacco, things like this that you know that they used to like. So Halloween is coming. I would definitely say, like, there's something called dumb supper or something like that, where you know, they feed the dead and stuff like that. So you want to like put out some plates of food for your ancestors, and, you know, just feed them, give them what you can. You know, it don't have to be all fancy. If you ain't got it like that, you could give them what you got, what you can offer, and they'll understand, right? So giving regular offerings to your ancestors, it helps not only feed them, but it just lets them know, hey, I didn't forget about you. You know, like, I still think about you. Keeping them in your thoughts and prayers, sending them love and light wherever they may be, healing, understanding, compassion, elevation, whatever they may be. So when we venerate our ancestors, we also activate and honor ourselves, because our ancestors are within us, and we can break generational curses by healing ourselves. We heal our ancestors. By healing our ancestors, we heal us. Make sense? And I would just say, if you do have an ancestor altar, it's customary to use white, because white represents purity, represents light, represents, cleanliness, healing. And that's the energy that we want to send to our ancestors, right? Holy, healing, cleansing, and all that good stuff. And there's a movie that I want to recommend too. Watching this movie called Coco, right? I think it's still on Netflix, but there's a movie called Coco. I think it's spelled Coco. And basically it's like an animated film dealing with like the Mexican culture, the Day of the Dead, where they teach you about like ancestors, why it's important to venerate them, why it's important to like, always remember them, because when we forget them, then they disappear and bad things happen to them in the spiritual realm. But I don't want to, ruin a movie for you, but check that out, Coco. Okay. Now we're going to go into necromancy, right? So necromancy is, hold on, wait. No, we're going to get into that later. Okay, necromancy, working with the dead, right? So what is necromancy? So necromancy comes from the Latin words nigromantia, right? So when we break it down, the Latin word for niger is black, and mantia means seer or divination by means of, right? Prophecy. So remember, we going back to that word niger. Well, nigger was that never really a bad nuance. It was recently made, like nigger was recently made like a slander of certain indigenous people. But before that, Niger was known as the black people, the Kemites, the people from Kemet, because their skin was so black and they practiced magic. So nigromantia was actually meaning the divination by means of the black arts, right? The black science, the Kemetic science, because they were known to be the major ones who understood the dead. If anybody knew about dead people and death, was the ancient Kemites. Read the book of Coming Forth by Day, also known the Book of the Dead, right? Read that book. It's really good. It'll give you a different perspective on death and life, because there really is no death. Death is an illusion. So one thing that I want to say too, black is not evil, right? People think of black like, oh, black magic. Oh, that sounds like demonic magic. That sounds evil. Oh, hell to the no. I ain't messing with that. Oh, black candles. Oh, no, I ain't touching that. Remember what I told you. Society, who taught you that black was evil? Who taught you that black candles was bad? Who taught you that? You got to ask yourself, where did I learn this from? When did I start to think this? When did I start to become scared of the dark? When did I think that this was evil? Who taught me that? When you start to deprogram yourself, you'll open up your mind to receiving new information. The older we get, the harder it is to let go of what we've been taught. Okay, so you want to just keep that in mind and try to keep your mind as open as possible. Be discernful, but don't have your mind closed off, because when you don't grow and you don't learn, then you cease to evolve, right? The whole point of life is to evolve. So now we're going to deal with how spirits communicate with us. Oh, but before that, I want to just make a little note about necromancy too. When you work with the dead, it helps you understand a lot of the things about life, like a lot of the things that we don't understand when we are alive. I don't know if anybody ever had like a near-death experience, or somebody who died and came back. Maybe they got resuscitated or whatever. People's lives they tend to behave a little bit differently. Like people that almost died or who did die. Like if you notice, like their whole life is turned around, because something happens in that brief moment when they leave this world and go into the other world, right? The underworld. Something happens, a transformation happens within them. And when we think about that, when spirits die, they have a whole nother level of understanding that we understand when we're alive, because they lived and they died before. So they could tell you what death is like on the other side. They could tell you what to expect. They could see the future. They could see all of this stuff and tell you. So when we do necromancy, we're getting knowledge that's beyond human understanding. Like that's deep. Now, how spirits communicate with us, right? Spirits can communicate with us in our dreams, right? Like I said, that's one of the number one ways spirits will come to you, because that's when our defenses are down. That's when we're relaxed, right? So this is why you want to have a dream catcher or have like a glass of water near your bed, because just like good spirits can come to you, there's negative spirits that can come to you as well and trick you. This is why I tell people, try not to watch horror movies or really violent films or stuff like that. Or have, heated arguments right before going to bed, because you'll take that energy to you, to the astral world, and with that energy you'll attract those negative spirits. So you got to be really careful of, like, attract the negativity to you while you're dreaming. When you sleep, you're vulnerable, so have some protection around you. Probably put some salt around your bed or some crystals under your pillow. Say your prayer, Psalm 23 from the Bible. Is really good to keep you safe and protect you from like incubi and succubi. Now, spirits tend to also communicate with us in electricity. So electricity, like if you ever notice, like the lights tend to flicker, or like spirits try to get your attention. Like let's say the light bulbs flicker, or sometimes when there's bad spirits around, the light bulbs tend to explode, or they always go out, or they end up always pop. That's one of the signs, like I was telling y'all before. If y'all seen my previous video on 10 signs of spiritual attack, that's one of the signs when, like, things just break around you, like light bulbs explode and things like that. So you want to look into that. Electricity, they communicate with us in electricity. So let's say, for instance, you got a radio playing. There was someone, I think it was in Divine Royalty in the group, and this was a while ago, but she was basically saying that the radio, she didn't even turn the radio on. The radio turned on by itself, and it just was like, she said it wasn't music, but it sounded like somebody was talking through the radio. So we got to realize that energy, spirits are energy. So when they try to communicate with us, they'll interrupt certain frequencies like electricity, or they'll try to interrupt like the radio waves and try to talk to you through there. So you want to just pay attention to that. You understand? If they're trying to talk to you through the radio waves. What is it called? There's a movie called White Noise. It's an old movie. But it was a guy who was trying to, I think, contact his dead wife or contact someone on the other side by using a radio. But he ended up tapping into all types of different spirits. So just be careful when you tapping into frequencies and spiritual energies. Always cleanse your home, cleanse yourself, and, bless the space before you tapping into that spiritual world. Right? So sometimes spirits will leave objects around, like leave clues and stuff for you to find. Like for my family specifically, we always tell us that, a sign that we'll give our living relatives that we're around, like if we die, is we'll leave pennies around. Or we'll move the dishes. Like we'll make noise with the dishes. Like you'll hear the dishes clinging, or, we'll, little coins and stuff will drop on its own. Like that's how my family, we have like this little, pact that when we die, we'll just leave the pennies and stuff around, just to let our family know that we're okay. You know what I'm saying? That we're around, we're okay. So that's just something that you may want to also practice with your living family, if they are into spirituality, if they are open to that. Just be like, hey, we should come up with like some type of like a thing where we know, like, okay, there's no denying that my great grandma is here, or like my mom, my deceased mom is here, or whatever. My granddad is here. So spirits also communicate with us through smells, as we were saying previously, how, you may smell your grandma's perfume, or, you may smell a certain fragrance in the air that let you know, like, wait, that's a familiar smell. I know that smell. That's my grandpa's cologne, or that's my grandpa smoking his cigar, or something like that, and you'll know that spirit's around. Spirit also communicates through people. So you ever just been like minding your business and a stranger will just walk up to you and start having a conversation, and whatever that stranger is talking about, you just be like, wow, that's crazy that he just said that, because I was going through the same situation, and it just seems like synchronicity. Sometimes spirits will jump into people and literally like talk to you through people, and that person probably will never like recollect whatever was said. So that's one of the things that you want to also be aware of. Spirits speak through people. When people talk to you, it could be a spirit. You may think this person's talking to you, but that may be a spirit that's talking to you. And like there are incarnated angels that walk and they talk to people. So that's just something that you want to be aware of. It's very real. Also, the temperature changes. So sometimes you may notice that you could just be like, I don't know, reading a book or watching TV or whatever, and you'll just notice that it gets really cold or really hot out of nowhere. When it gets cold, that means that the spirit is taking energy from you. When it gets hot, it means that the spirit is giving energy to you, right? So when they take energy, sometimes spirits need to take energy in order to come through and communicate, right? It takes energy to materialize. It takes energy to come and visit you. So if you're not feeding your ancestors and giving them, rum and giving them offerings and venerating them and stuff like that, they're weak. So they're going to be taking energy from you. So you may feel a coldness. You may feel cool because they need energy to come through. But sometimes when you're feeling down and out and you just need, like, you may feel like a warmth around you, and that may be the spirit blessing you and like a spirit hovering you or covering you or like hugging you or something like that to give you comfort. Feeding spirits and offerings. Now we're going to go into that. Let me see where we at with it. Okay, we an hour in. Okay. So feeding spirits and giving offerings. Oh, look at that fried chicken. That fried chicken looks so good. I'm not vegan, y'all, but that plate right there is making me hungry. Shoot. Woo, Thanksgiving right around the corner. Anyway, spirits need food to be sustained. Just like humans, just like we need food to sustain ourselves, spirits need food too. But the funny thing is, when you put food on the altar for them, don't expect for them to eat the physical food. They actually consume the essence of it, right? So the energy, everything has energy, even the food, the water, the cigar, the incense, like they're taking all of that ashe. And ashe means energy, right? So when you feed them, they're absorbing the energy you give them. Offer what you want to see manifest, right? So this is what I always tell people. People say, I don't know what to offer my ancestors. This is what you do. What I personally like to do is I like to offer whatever it is I'm trying to attract. So let's say, for instance, if I want to bring love into my life, I will offer them red apples. I'll say, ancestors, thank you for all that you do. Thank you for your blessings. Here are some sweet red apples so that way you can bring love into my life, sweet love. And then sometimes I offer honey. Like, let's say you'll offer honey, right? You offer honey on that altar. So you'll offer honey for sweetness and attraction, because honey is sweet and honey is sticky. So it's going to make you sticky and make all things sweet come to you and may it stick to you, right? So green grapes for abundance and wealth, white flowers for purity, for healing, for cleansing, clear thoughts, right? Clear water for clarity, good communication, and things of that nature. So everything that you put on an altar, and it has a symbolic meaning. So, put up there what it is that you want to see manifest in your life. And that's why you want to keep the altar clean, because when you have, rotten, spoiled water, rancid water, molded coffee and, flies on your chicken that's been there for like 3 weeks, like you're going to have a bad omen, because now you have rotten food and rotten things on your altar. And now that's exactly what you want to manifest into your life, rotten stuff. So if you're wondering, okay, well, how do I dispose of it? We're going to get into that in the next slide. But one thing that I want to say, though, before we go into disposing of the offerings, is knowing what the spirit likes before giving the offerings, right? So remember what I said, understand the spirit before you start working with them. So Yemaya, for instance, Yemaya, which is the Yoruba goddess of water, right? Motherhood. Yemaya is offended if you offer her fish, because she's a mermaid. She's a siren. Why would you feed a fish? That don't make no sense. That's definitely offensive. So also with Oshun, right? If you offer Oshun honey, make sure that you taste the honey before you give it to her. Like, taste it, even if it's like a little drop on your finger. Taste the honey in front of her altar, in front of her, so that way she knows that you didn't poison it, because Oshun was once poisoned before. See, people don't know these things, but this is why it's really important that you got to do the research and find out more about the spirits before you offer it. Like Obatala, he cannot have. Obatala once was drinking. He got so drunk that he had made a mistake with creating human life or something like that. So he made an oath never to drink again. So you can't offer Obatala blood or, rum or alcohol or anything with salt in it, because Obatala likes bland food. Some people say never to offer salt to your ancestors, to spirits, because it weakens them. Some people say they don't believe in that. It really depends on you and how you feel. I mean, it depends on, sometimes I'll feed my spirit some fried chicken, some macaroni and cheese. You see everything on that plate? That's something I would give my ancestors. Some sweet cornbread, put some hot sauce on that bad boy. They like that stuff, because I know what my ancestors like. So it really depends on you. But you got to ask your spirits and ask your ancestors, hey, listen, what do you guys want? And really just listen and pay attention, and then go back to the 5 different psychic senses and see which way do they communicate with you. Is it through clairsentience, clairaudience? What is it? Now, we're going to talk about disposing the offerings. Now, offerings can be disposed in 24 hours, right? So let's say if you put some offerings on your ancestors' altars today, you can throw them out tomorrow. Like, you can either you could give it to an animal, like go put it out in nature by a tree, go to the woods. Some people like to bury it if it's biodegradable or whatever, like just bury it and say, you know what, all right, I'm gonna let the worms get to it. I'm gonna let the animals, the raccoons and the cats get to it, or you can simply throw it in the trash. Now, some people say, well, that's offensive. You're not supposed to throw, you're not supposed to do this. There's a lot of people that tell you what you're supposed to do and not supposed to do with spirits, but I'm gonna tell y'all this. One thing that I like to do is I like to just go with the flow and what feels right. Right. So if you be like, listen, I don't want to litter. I don't want to put food, on the ground, or, I live in the city. I'm not in the woods. What can I do? Throw it in the trash, because guess what? If you in New York City, like I used to live in New York City, and the rats are crazy rampant. So if you put some food in the trash, believe me, the animals, AKA the rats, will get it. And that's you giving offerings. They're going to get it some way, somehow. So throwing it in the trash, it still allows the rodents to get to it. You're still feeding nature. Rats, mice, no matter how you look at it, they're still God's creations, and they need food too, right? Stray cats and all of that. So you want to keep water on the altar clean and fresh. We went through that already, because water is what spirit communicates through. Water is a portal. Water also absorbs energy, right? So we keep water on our altar. So like a lot of the times when the water gets dirty really fast, it can mean that you have a lot of negative energy in your house or negative energy around you, and you need to do a ritual cleansing. The water on the altar can tell you what's going on. Now, water's going to get dirty eventually. You get what I'm saying? So that's why you want to change it at least like once a week, if you can. Now, if you have to change it more frequently than that, then it could possibly mean you really need to clean your house, physically and spiritually. Because, clean water equals clean energy. Dirty water equals dirty energy. Now, how we communicate with spirit, all right? So the way that we communicate with spirit is by giving offerings. Offerings is a form of payment. You got to give before you take. In life, with spirits and all of that, you got to pay before you can walk out the store with your merchandise, right? So when we go to the altar and we ask for something, we say, here, ancestors, here, spirits, here to the gods, I give you this offering, so that way you can continue to bless me, bring love, sweetness, abundance into my life. I share. You always give offerings, right? So that's one way. Another way is by writing petitions. So you're going to write what you want. Sometimes our ideas can be so abstract that we don't know how to put it into words. But once we actually put it into words and write it down physically, taking it from our mental and put it on paper, like we actually see our dreams materialize faster, right? So writing your wishes and your petitions down on paper is really powerful. But remember what I said, you want to be as specific as possible, and always write in the present tense. So don't say, I wish I had, a beautiful house. No, just say, I have a beautiful home. I am surrounded by abundance. I am surrounded by loving relationships. Like, you always want to write in present tense, because in the spirit world, there is no time. They only understand now. If you write in the future tense, they're going to be confused, like, what? So they'll give you what you want. So if you say, I wish, I want, I desire, you'll always be wanting, you'll always be wishing, you'll always be desiring. Always write in present tense. I am powerful. I am successful. I am, prosperous. I am healthy. All of that. I am rich. Okay. Prayer and affirmations is another way to communicate with the spirits. Prayer is powerful. One thing that you want to definitely invest in is like learning certain prayers. There's a book called Selective. I'm gonna tell y'all all of the books like towards the end of the class. Just remind me during the Q&A, like different, so I can show you guys the different books that you'll need. And I also probably post it in the Divine Academy group. But Power of the Psalms. Psalms are very powerful. Learning certain psalms, writing your own prayers and affirmations help you to communicate with the spirit world, and it raises your vibration. So that way you can tune into higher frequencies easier, right? You want to ritually cleanse yourself. So before you go to the spirit, you want to make sure that you're cleansed. In ancient Kemet, one of the basic foundations to communicating with spirits was you had to purify your body for X amount of days before you could even go into the chamber, like the God's chamber. You couldn't even go into the temple without purifying your body. You couldn't go nowhere near the altar. So the same rules still apply. It's just that a lot of people forgot about this. This is why some people feel like they can't connect with spirit. They can't connect with the gods. They feel like the spirits abandon them. They feel disconnected. It's because your energy may be so cluttered, so dirty, so low, probably because of the people you had sex with. It could be the environment that you're living in. It could be the way that you've been eating, your diet. It could be different things, how you live in, your mental space, your emotional space. You have to cleanse yourself mentally, spiritually, physically. So that way the spirit, you can be a vessel for the spirit to walk into. You want to be a clean vessel for the spirit to enter, because that's what the spirit's going to do. Spirit's going to enter into you, but they don't want to enter into a dirty place. So you got to clean yourself for the spirits to come through. Also, celebration and feast. Now, I would definitely recommend holding like a feast or celebration during like Day of the Dead, like November 2nd, or like in Mexico they do it like for 3 days, I believe, from like now until like that whole week they're just turning up. But you want to definitely celebrate on Halloween. Like you want to get your rum, get your alcohol, your wine, your tobacco, your weed, like whatever it is that you want to turn up with your ancestors. At least give them some time. Just be like, look, y'all, okay, the party gonna start. This is what I do. I'll be like, listen, y'all, the party's gonna start Halloween this time. I'm gonna have this, and that. This person's invited. Like it's literally a party. Like you want to write down everybody who's coming, everybody that's invited. And then, you play music. You could play songs that your family used to play, like during the family reunions, or maybe you remember your grandma's favorite song, your great auntie's favorite song, or whatever. And you just play that. And, you have the food out ready for them. And like spirits love that. So that's how we communicate with them. Even since ancient times, like they would designate certain days, like feast days. Every spirit has like a feast day. And during that day, that's when, you give thanks to them. You give them food. You feed them. You sustain their energy. Because when we're dancing and celebrating, that's when spirits come down, because spirits love the party. Let me just put that up there. Spirits love partying. They love turning up with the living. They love that. So when they be like, oh, hold on, wait a minute, what's going on over here? You know what I'm saying? Like you get their attention. That's why our ancestors used to play music and have the drumming and the dancing and the feast and the food, because that's how you bring the spirits down. Wouldn't you want to come to a party if you found out somebody was throwing a big ass celebration for you with food and music and everybody's having a good time? Yeah, you'll come. So spirit is the same way. Just because you don't have a physical body anymore don't mean that you still don't want to have fun. They look forward to it. But remember, just through time, a lot of us forgot these sacred days. We forgot how to celebrate our ancestors. So when you do it, they're gonna be like, hold on, we haven't had a celebration in years. And they're gonna just throw blessings on you. I'm telling you. They're gonna throw blessings on you. And this is also one of the reasons why you want to also be aware too that spirits tend to be, you got to be careful of going to bars and clubs and parties unprotected, because this is where spirits hang out. And not all spirits are good spirits. Like sometimes spirits like to hang out at bars because when people get really drunk, they tend to pass out. And then that opens up a portal for another spirit to jump into that person. Like you ever seen a person so drunk they look possessed? Like they really are. That's why they call the drink spirits, because that's exactly what the person is imbibing, spirits. So you want to just be, if you're going to go out and turn up, especially like during the full moon or during a festival or like some type of like a big party, wear your protection on you, wear some black tourmaline in your bra, or, you know, wear some, you know, what's that called? Onyx, black onyx in your pocket, or hematite, something that's going to like really protect you. Put a little bit of salt in your shoes. Ladies, you understand? Like guys, you can do that too, but you just want to have an extra layer of protection where you go. Stay prayed up and blessed, and you'll be fine. Where is the thing? Oh. I'm like, where is it? Benevolent spirits and malevolent spirits. We're going to get into that. Now, I know a lot of people want to know the difference, because there are some spirits that are so clever that they will try to trick you into thinking that they're your grandma, and they really not. Okay, that's why I need to watch that movie Veronica that I told y'all about, when she was trying to do a seance with a Ouija board and she contacted the wrong spirit, and that spirit fucked her whole entire life up. Okay, but these are things that you want to pay attention to. Oh, before I forget, listen, y'all know I'm a big movie head, right? There's a movie on Netflix called The Third Eye. It's an Asian movie. It's a foreign movie, but let me tell you, Asians make the best horrors. This is a recent movie. It just came out because I just seen it like last month or whatever. But it's called The Third Eye. Watch it on Netflix. This lady, she's a shaman. She's an Asian shaman priestess, and she pretty much was like taking this young girl in and training her on how to be a spiritualist, how to detect certain spirits, how to be a medium, how to banish spirits. She was teaching her all of this, and she was basically telling her the difference between good spirits and bad spirits. Y'all want to watch this? It's, a lot of these movies be teaching y'all stuff. I'm telling y'all, but watch that movie, The Third Eye. So one thing that I know about benevolent spirits, they have a sweet, pleasant smell. Like you may smell like frankincense. Like every time there's a good spirit around me, like I smell roses or I smell like frankincense. Like that's how I know that the Neteru around me. Whenever the Neteru are around, they have like a very distinct smell. Like they love frankincense. So you'll smell like a frankincense smell, right? Well, maybe that's just for me, but I smell them, especially like, remember I was saying about the psychics who can smell spirits? You're definitely going to notice that you smell them, right? You may pick up on a warm, cozy ambiance, you know, like it might be like a mother's touch, or you might feel like a warm embrace, right? Gentle, you may get a gentle, loving, caressing touch. Like it's they're very gentle and it's very comforting, and they give you positive thoughts. So they'll share their positive thoughts with you. They'll put dreams into your mind. They'll basically tell you like, hey, listen, you know what I'm saying? Like go apply to that job. You got it. Like, you know, get out the house, go have fun. Like you're beautiful. You look really nice today. You know, like they'll be putting these positive thoughts in your head that will make you feel better about yourself. Now we're going to go into the malevolent spirits. Now, malevolent spirits, which is evil spirits, they tend to have a rotten smell. So it smell like rotten eggs or a dead rat or sulfur or something very stink, right? It's not a very pleasant smell. It smells like something rotten. All right. When they're around, you may feel like a chilling, eerie feeling, like something that's around watching you, but you don't want it there. You get me? It's like that annoying person watching you, but they won't stop. You'll definitely know when it's a bad spirit around, because you'll feel so uncomfortable in your own skin, right? Then you got, when it comes to the, like, instead of a good spirit caressing you and gently, you know, touching your skin and saying, hey, I'm here, you know, like embracing you, With the evil, malevolent spirits, it's going to feel like pinching, stabbing, painful sensations, like little poking, like something's poking you or prodding you or sticking you with pins. Like you'll feel like something's stabbing you. It's not going to be a comfortable feeling. Right? Like I remember one time I was staying at a friend's house and I knew that there was a spirit there because one, I felt all of this. Like I smelled the bad smell. I had that eerie feeling. And then one thing I noticed too, that the spirit was like nibbling at my feet. I'm like, yo, what the hell is nibbling at my feet? And that's how I knew it was an imp. Because imps, sometimes spirits tend to be down low. Some spirits can be up high on the ceiling. There's different type of spirits. Some fly, some crawl, some climb on walls. They're very different. But this particular spirit was always nibbling at my feet. Like I felt like something was chewing at my toes, right? And it was that spirit. So that was the pinch and stabbing pains that I felt. And that's how I knew that spirit was there. And negative thoughts and feelings. So these spirits tend to evil spirits tend to speak a lot of hateful thoughts in you, put a lot of hate into you. Like you could just be having a good day or just chilling, and out of nowhere you start thinking about, something that happened to you in your past. You already done healed and moved on, but now all of a sudden you thinking about these bad memories again. And this evil spirit is like putting it into your ear, like, yeah, how can you forgive them? That person did this to you. They did that to you. Like, you should get vengeance. You should get revenge. You should light a black candle on them. You should destroy their life. You should fuck them up. Because negative spirits feed off of that. So they need you to feed them. If you don't even entertain those thoughts and you just ignore it, they'll eventually go away. Okay, this is why meditation and mindfulness is important, because when you're mindful and you train yourself through meditation, daily meditation, you can pick up when these negative spirits is around you, because you'll notice, like, wait a minute, this thought is not mine. This must be a negative spirit. Like, y'all ever seen Tom and Jerry or those old cartoons when you see like the angel on one shoulder and the devil on another? Like, this is what I'm talking about benevolent spirits and malevolent spirits. Like, the malevolent spirit will be like, girl, you know what I'm saying? You need to go beat you. You need to curse this person out. They did this to you. But the benevolent spirit will be like, you know what? They're not worth your time. You came such a long way. You know what? Elevate yourself, release that person, forgive them, and move on. Okay, so you have to notice the different voices. After a while with practice and mindfulness, you'll be able to easily distinguish between the two, and you'll banish that evil spirit. My grandma used to always tell me, if you're not sure if a spirit means you well or not, always speak to that spirit and command it out. If you mean me well, you may stay, but if you mean me harm, go away. My grandma used to always tell me that when I was a kid. And to this day, I still use that mantra, and it works. Okay. Now, practical methods for contacting the spirits, right? So we're going to get into this. So we already pretty much covered the meditational part, right? So practical methods to contact meditation. When you meditate, you tap into the higher frequency, the Akashic records. So when you create an altar space, you create a portal or a vessel for the spirit to manifest through. So this is practical things. So meditation, it helps you to open up your crown chakra, to realign your chakras. Doing yoga, it helps you to channel that energy. When your energy is balanced, the spirit will also come to you, because now, your energy is cleansed and able to come through. The altar space, it sets up a portal. It's like literally your altar is your Stargate. So you want to keep your Stargate cleansed, clear, and put up whatever you want to manifest. So let's say, clear quartz for clear thoughts, on white candles, like 2-pillar candles to represent the 2-pillar portals, opening up the way, a crystal ball, you understand? So that way you can see through things, and that goes into scrying. So scrying basically means to look through something, to see beyond the veil. So one thing that I like to do during the full moon or during Halloween is I like to look through my crystal ball. I like to look through a glass of water and like ask certain questions, speak to certain spirits, because that's my specific forte. Some people like to look through water. Some people could look through smoke. Some people could read through fire. Some people just, like I said, use the crystal ball. Those are the different elements: fire, water, air, earth. Right? Some people, one way that you can contact spirits is through a seance, right? Like through working through a Ouija board, or like holding hands around the table. Like if y'all ever seen Beetlejuice, that old movie Beetlejuice, when they had the seance because there were spirits trapped in the house that wanted to get them out. Like seance is another way to contact spirits. But remember, seance is not something for the beginner. Know what you're doing before you opening up these portals. Any type of way when you contact spirits. Meditation is more for like the beginning stages. Like if you haven't even mastered meditation, don't start doing seances, don't start doing Ouija boards. Be careful with that stuff, because like I said, that movie Veronica is based on a true story, and you don't want to end up like Veronica. Okay, so just really protect yourself. I'm not saying this to scare y'all, but I'm saying this because I want y'all to be cautious. I want y'all to be aware. I don't want to just give y'all this information and not tell y'all how to, you know, protect yourself and use common sense. Now, a tarot, some people like to use the tarot and oracle cards to contact spirits, because some spirits like to communicate through forms of cards, right? Chiromancy. So some people use like the oracle cards to get divination and advice and tips from their angels and ancestors and stuff like that. That's pretty much fine too. You know, like you got to figure out what your divinational, what divination tool works for you. And also, if you don't feel comfortable enough doing the divination yourself, I would highly recommend getting a reliable medium, like a spiritualist, an oracle that you know and trust, and you've done research on this person, and you know that this person ain't going to run away with your money. This person knows what they're doing. That is a person that you want to contact. Get a professional to do it for you before you end up messing up your life or tapping into something that you don't know what you're doing. Never summon something that you don't know how to put down, okay? Now we're going to go into invocation and evocation, because these are very two different things, right? Also, one more tip I want to say about contacting the spirits. You could burn ancestor money like Joss paper. They usually have this in like the little Chinese shops, like Chinatown Chinese shops. You ask them for Joss paper, and they usually have it. So you burn that like in the fire, have a little fireproof dish, and you burn it. You can write your petition or your wish on it, and that's supposed to speed up the prayer to the heavenly realms, to your ancestors, to your spirit guides, right? So that's another way that you contact them. Now, invocation and evocation, two different things. Invocation is to summon the presence of the spirit inside of you, to call something within you, to channel a spirit as a medium, right? To literally embody a spirit. So let's say, for instance, a woman who wants to attract love and beauty or eminent beauty, she would invoke Heteru, right? To invoke is to call within, inside. So if you want to, let's say, for instance, there's someone who's bothering you, is an enemy that's bothering you, but you know you're not really a fighter, but you want to call on the energy of Ogun, you can invoke Ogun, so that way he can give you the courage, okay, and the strength to overcome your enemies, right? So that's one way that you can use the energy of invocation. So when we invoke a spirit, we're actually channeling their energy. Whenever you're channeling, you are acting like the conduit of that spirit working through you to get the result that you're looking for. Invocation is much more easier than evocation. And I'm just going to tell you that why. Because evocation, now we're going to go into that, it means to call a spirit before you, outside of you. There is a clear boundary between you and the spirit evoked. So that means, like, you ever seen I'm trying to think of a movie. It's all right. In the picture right here, you see the man and there's a woman before him, right? He summoned that spirit, his muse, right? The goddess, or a sex goddess. Now, this is when the spirit actually manifests physically before you. It's not I think I see a spirit, I think I feel it. No, that spirit is there. You see it crystal clear. This is what a lot of the elitists do in these secret societies, is they do this there's something called the Bohemian Grove. and they actually evoke spirits. You understand? Like they cast a circle, and this is what a lot of this, like Aleister Crowley did in ceremonial magic. They would summon a spirit before them as they put themselves in the circle to protect them from that spirit. But the ancient Kemites, let me tell y'all, people from Kemet was so brave. They didn't even do no circles or nothing like that. Like they didn't need to cast a circle. They was just like, it was no barrier between them and the spirit, because the Kemites were so confident in their power and their authority that they knew that they could summon a spirit without having to put any type of like circle around them. Now, I'm not saying that you guys need to go out and be like, well, I'm brave and I'm going to summon a spirit without a circle. No, I don't think the evocation is for the beginner. Honestly, I think that you need to learn how to study, spiritualism first, then understand the spirit itself, how do spirits work, how to develop meditation and get yourself right. And then you can start practicing with invocation to learn that spirit's energy. Then you can summon the spirit before you, because that takes a lot of energy and practice. If you want to get more into evocation and ceremonial magic, I would say look into the Key of Solomon, right? The Keys of Solomon. He has a whole bunch of books. I think it's the lesser keys, and it's another one to summon spirits. But just be careful with that, because ceremonial magic is nothing to play with, right? And I wouldn't do it in the house. They always tell you don't evoke a spirit in your home. Do it somewhere like in the woods or somewhere outside, because you don't want to summon something in your house. Then that portal may be open, and it's just a whole bunch of mess. But yeah, like the Magicians is another movie on Netflix. Well, not a movie, sorry, it's a show, The Magicians. And they had used a mirror to open up a portal. The girl wanted to summon her dead brother, but then something else had walked through the mirror, right? And it was hard. And that spirit ended up killing people and all types of stuff. So you got to be careful with evocation, right? Warning. Now we're going to go into the safety measures of, contacting spirit and stuff like that. First of all, like I said, you want to study. Know what the hell you're doing before you just jump in and practice. Before you start practicing, you got to study. There's levels and there's steps to this. Know your level. Take baby steps. Like if you know that you're a newbie, you've never worked with a spirit before, don't just jump and start summoning demons. Like work your way up there. Start working with your ancestors first. Then once you get a handle on, okay, you know what, I understand how to work with my ancestors, because your ancestors is your first line of defense. Once you're comfortable with that, then you could be like, okay, you know what? Now I think I'm ready to start working with the saints. Or you know what? Okay, let me start working with the Luwa or the Orisha. Or let me start working with the Neteru. Let me see. Like, you do wanna have your fun and play with it a little bit once you start to feel more confident and comfortable. But you feel more confident when you know more, right? So the more you study, the more you'll know, the more confident you'll be, the more powerful you'll be. Knowledge is power, right? So you also want to use common sense. Like I said, don't summon something you cannot put down. Don't summon something that you don't have no idea about it. Like don't summon a spirit if you don't know its origins, you don't know anything about the culture of the people who used to work with that spirit, because some spirits won't work with you for the simple fact that, you understand, you and their ancestors might be tribal enemies. So don't summon something and end up creating war in your life because you summon your tribal enemy spirit totem. Okay, that's why it pays attention to get to know your ancestors, because once you know them, they could tell you, oh yeah, we used to work with this deity, we used to work with that person, but I wouldn't work with so and so if I were you. You get me? So that's why you want to connect with your ancestors first. You also want to learn how to consecrate and always protect, right? So safety methods before working with spirits: always consecrate, which means to bless, to protect, to cleanse your space. Bless everything, all of the candles, ritual objects you get, always bless it and protect it, so that way whoever's hands and stuff touched it before you, it will not contaminate your work. Always ritually bathe and prepare before you do any type of spiritual evocation, invocation, spiritual work, whatever it is. Divination, you want to make sure that you're ritually clean, so that way you won't attract negative spirits, because negativity attracts negativity. Clean energy attracts clean energy. Like attracts like. The law of attraction. This is a fact, family. But you always want to cleanse yourself mentally, spiritually, and physically to avoid attracting the wrong spirits to you. Now we're going to get into banishing spirits, right? Before we go into the we're about to get into the ritual momentarily. But to banish a spirit. So there's different ways to banish a spirit, but what I'm going to do is give you guys the 4 different ways to banish a spirit using the 4 different elements, right? So to banish a spirit by fire is to light a black candle dressed with garlic powder and banishing oil, right? That's one way. Because black is like the absence of light. Black is a void. So that candle is going to act like literally a vacuum to suck up and absorb whatever negative spirit it is that's harming you, is going to suck it up in there and pretty much throw that bad spirit into the abyss, back to where it's come from, back into nothingness. Air, banishing a spirit by air is usually through incense. So burning dragon's blood resin, 3 kings incense, and a pinch of sulfur. So 3 kings is a blend of different incense. They've been using that for like a long time. Some people also use Jerusalem incense as well. But dragon's blood is really powerful for banishing spirits. Dragon's blood. Remember, you're using the actual resin, so not the stick incense, but the actual rocks to banish these spirits. And only a pinch of sulfur, not a lot, because sulfur has a very strong smell, and you don't want to be hacking and coughing and can't breathe. So just put a little, a little pinch on the charcoal while it's burning. Now, to banish a spirit by water is to mix ammonia, Florida water, and holy water into a floor wash, right? So, like, before you go and mop out your house or spray out your house or whatever, you want to just blend. Of course, you want to dilute all of this in water, at least like a gallon of water, and you probably wouldn't put like a teaspoon, not a teaspoon, a capful of ammonia, a splash of Florida water, and probably like 1/4 of a cup of holy water into the mixture, and you're going to pray over it. So you can say your own personal prayer. You can say Psalm 91 over it to banish the spirit, whatever it is. Some people like to have this mixed up already and prepared, right? So that way they could just have this ready to just mop out the house or whatever. So after you just finish doing a ritual or whatever, summoning the spirit, you want to clean. You want to use these methods to cleanse out the house, right? And of course, the element earth. So earth deals with the minerals, right? Minerals, herbs, and stuff like that. So you want to mix salt. I prefer sea salt, right? So mix salt, camphor, and a pinch of red pepper. And you want to sprinkle this around your house. So some people like to sprinkle it around the perimeters of their home. Some people like to sprinkle it through across like the threshold, like a line of it across the threshold, like the windowsills, the doorway, the back door, things like that. And just a little bit. So don't put a lot of red pepper. Just put like a pinch of it, because you're going to be like, red pepper is strong, right? So salt nullifies and purifies the home. Camphor brings peace and also repels negativity. And the red pepper, it represents fire. So it literally will burn the hell out of whatever negative spirit's trying to come your way, right? So caution. Banishing should not be done frequently. This can banish good spirits too. So I always tell people, sometimes when you're cleansing your house too much and you're not sweetening your home, you can be literally banishing the good spirits that's in your house, because there's always a spirit in your home. There's always your guardian angel, there's your ancestors, there's your protectors. But if you're just like banishing often, then you got to call back your good spirits too. So don't forget that, because you don't want to banish all your good luck and good spirits away, because that leaves you vulnerable. So just keep that in mind. Plus, you shouldn't be doing readings and channeling and avocations and invocations every day anyway, right? That's a lot of energy. So you just want to do this. Our ancestors didn't do this all the time. they would only do it like certain times of the full moon, or like for certain times of the year, like ceremonies and stuff like that. So you just want to keep that in mind. The spiritual world isn't just something that you just jump in and play with. Like it's really serious. So that's why I said research, use common sense, and know how to banish your spirit. Now this is the basics on how to banish your spirit. Now there's other ways where, that's why I said don't summon something you can't put down, because sometimes you may need a little bit more than this. Like sometimes you may require a blood sacrifice. Sometimes you may have to like literally fast for like 21 days. Like there's different levels to it. So before we get to all of that, you got to learn the basics. So memorize these. Okay, and like I said, I'm going to leave this video up for y'all who want to come back and watch it a little bit later, for whatever means. So yeah. And let me see. And now we are going to get to the ritual. It is ritual time, family. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you guys some time to get your materials and stuff like that together before we jump on it. So I'm going to leave this slide up. We're going to take like a quick little break so everybody can use the bathroom, get something to eat, get something to drink or whatever, some refreshments, ground yourself, get your materials together and all that good stuff. Okay? So I'm going to give y'all a few moments to do that. And I'm just going to play this music while y'all guys do that. Oh, and write the incantation down because we're going to need that. So write that down on a piece of paper because you're going to need to chant that when we do the ritual. All right, we almost about to get started. I'm just setting up. Okie dokie. Water. Palo Santo. What's that Sphinx say? Hotel. Alrighty. Whew. I've been talking for 2 hours straight. I had to give me some tea. All right, I'm about to flip over the screen so I can see y'all. Alrighty. Lord. I really need to clean off this computer. I'm flipping the screen to see you, beautiful people. All right, stage the place. Okay. Okay. What's up, family? So we are back. I am live. I'm looking at y'all the chat room now. So how's everybody doing? Y'all okay? So far, so good? Y'all ready for the ritual? Y'all need some time? What's up? Now listen, for some people that kind of, found out about the class late or wasn't able to get the materials in time, don't worry about it. Like I said, you could watch this. Let me turn this down. Don't worry about it. You could watch this video later. You could get the materials later. You guys can do this on Halloween if you want to. Like I said, the portal is still open at this time. Like towards the end of October, the first week, the beginning of November, it's like that's when that portal is open. So that's why I really wanted to do this class now, so that way you guys have time to, do this ritual now and tap into your ancestors and your spirit guides and really figure out, what lineage you come from, who your spirit guides are, who your ancestors are, so that they can present themselves to you, how to understand how to banish negative spirits and all that good stuff. So like I said, I'm gonna leave this link up for you guys to always resort back to it later on if you need to refresh and all that good jazz. So if you don't have the oil, you can substitute it with olive oil. Olive oil is substitutable for like a lot of things. It's not the same, but it substitutes. Or you could just wait until later till you get it. Okay, let me turn this around. Alrighty. So let me get my screen and everything settled. I'm about to flip the screen so you guys could Andre B says cleanse your computer screen is infected. Oh Lord, I cannot with you, Andre. I keep calling you Andre. All right, so let's get started on this ritual. Y'all ready? Let me see some ashes. Y'all ready for this ritual? Ashe, ashe, ashe. Let's see. Let's see some ashes up in the building. Where's my camera at? Oh. There we go. Okay. I am back. Alrighty, so let's get started. Let me Palo Santo the place. So I'm gonna show you guys my altar. Well, my altar for this ritual. I'm not allowed to show my ancestral altar. But you know, right now you want to just use this time to ground yourself. Love Palo Santo, Palo Santo. So remember, you want to consecrate your area. So we're going to be smoking the mugwort, well, the copal incense on the charcoal. You don't need a lot. Just put like a few of the resins on the charcoal, because if you put too much, you're going to have mad smoke in your house, and you're going to set off the fire alarms and everything. I actually took down all my fire alarms because it was going off like every day. My neighbors probably was like, that girl is either burning her kitchen down or something's going on. You feel me? So, all right. Ooh, that feels so good. That Palo Santo feels so good. Yes. Okay, let's get started. So it's my Florida water I like to use to refresh myself since I've been talking my mouth off. Thank you, Spirit. Ashe. Feels so good. Okay. Let me put that over here. All right. So first things first, we're gonna go over the steps and stuff like that. Right. So I want you to turn this down so you can see. Hold on. Alrighty. Ooh, you can see my bra. Oops. Okay. Anyway, let me get my phone out of here. Phone out of here. You may hear my neighbors acting crazy. They be acting crazy sometimes on Sundays. Okay, so let's do a check, shall we? Let me see. Hold on. Let me make sure you guys can see. Okay, is this good? I hope this is good for you guys. All right. Push that back a little bit. Alrighty. Let's get started. So, listen, if you guys want, you don't have to, but I just had grabbed some grapes from my kitchen. You know, sometimes I like to just have a little bit of offerings out for the spirit. So if you have like some cookies or cake or a piece of fried chicken that you made for dinner or whatever you had, if you could grab that real quick and get a little, you know, bowl or plate, put that, you know, next to your ritual, like we're about to get started, okay? So if you want to do that, that's completely fine. Go grab your stuff. Have your herbs. So you have your mugwort, right? We're gonna have mugwort. So get that prepared. Let me open this. Man, they just stapled the crap. Oh, I didn't do it like this. What's this? Okay, mugwort So you got your mugwort ready. Now listen, you guys can also drink mugwort as a tea. I would definitely suggest drinking some of that tonight after doing this ritual. Now you're gonna have a 7-day candle, right? You should have your 7-day candle. You should have your glass of water. You should have your acacia oil, okay? Acacia, and your charcoal, your copal, all right, copal. So what I'm gonna do, I am going to open. I like this the Swift Light Charcoal brand because it burns very nicely, and also it burns for a long time. Like there's some charcoal brands that sucks. Like it keeps going out and it don't burn long. Like I'm gonna get something to I'm gonna get like a little excuse me, I'm gonna get a little coaster to put that on. I just bought that cauldron. Oh, look at that bad boy crackling. I just bought it from the Botanica. And it's to give me a new little incense burner. So you're gonna just let your charcoal cook. So it's cooking right now. Right, while it's getting hot, you wanna just cleanse your candle, you know, get a little Florida water. Ooh. Right, so you wanna just cleanse it. Ashe, ashe. Take a little Florida water. I like to wipe it down while I'm just, you know, asking spirits to remove the negativity of the hands who have touched this candle before me. Purify it and cleanse it for me. Ashe, ashe. Amen. Okay. So that is cleansed. Now that is cooking. Now, where's the top? Okay. Ashe, ashe, ashe. Now, what you want to do is you could put like a small little piece of copal like on the charcoal now. Remember, it's a lot of smoke, so you want to just, you know, put one piece, see how it smokes. You can put another piece up there. You get me? Because you don't want to have too much smoke, especially if you got like kids in your house that got asthma or something like that. Have your windows open if you can. I like to keep my windows open anyway for the ashe to come through. Some woman told me that. She was like, you should open up your windows when you do your ritual so that the ashe could flow through your house better. So we got I love the smell of copal. Like, oof. Mm. So while that's burning, now what you want to do is you want to run the candle through the smoke. Okay, run the candle. So let me see if you guys can see it. Let me try to put it in the center a little bit. Okay. Ashe. So I got my little cauldron on something because I'm like, this is a glass table and I don't want nothing to break, pop, crack, none of that. You feel me? Let me move that over there. All right, so you just want to allow the smoke to pretty much go through the candle. Now, if you want to add more copal, that's fine. Add more. You know, everybody has their certain limit of smoke, but you don't want to just put so much copal up there where it's like so much smoke. You're like, oh wait, it's too much. So just add more and more as you go if you want more. You get me? Okay, so now you always cleanse our space, cleansing the candles and all ritual materials that we're going to use. Ashe, ashe, ashe. Ashe, ashe, ashe. All right. So now we cleanse our candle. Now what we're going to do is we are going to carve our intentions in the candle. So what you can do is using the pen, right? If you have like sometimes I like to use like a little like ice pick type thing, but if you don't have one on deck, that's fine. You could still use your pen. You could use your pen to carve your intentions on top, right? Because this is a glass candle. Some people like to use a permanent mark and sometimes write around it. I like to carve it into the wax itself, right? Because even our ancestors, the ancient Kenites, like they would carve their spells and stuff on the wall. So carving actually has its own intention within itself, right? So what we're going to do is in the candle, we're going to carve to my ancestors known and unknown who wish me well. Or, you could write whatever you feel more comfortable doing, right? So, because this is who we're going to dedicate this to. So, to my ancestors. So you're writing like in a spiral, right? It's going in a circle. So to my ancestors, ancestors known and unknown, who wish me well. All right, so you want to write that in there. You can write to my spirit guides, to my higher self, whatever you believe in, whatever's comfortable to you. Like I want to make this as comfortable for everybody. You know what I'm saying? If you want to just adjust it a little bit, that's fine. Now, some people like to clip the wick because sometimes when you buy from the Botanica, the wick could be a bit long. Some people like to just burn it like that. I'm just going to leave it as such right now, which is fine. Some people like to clip it because they feel like, if you cut it, it won't soot as much. But to each his own. Okay, so now that we got that, what you want to do is you want to also carve the Star of David, right? So you could after you write your intentions. So the Star of David basically is how can I say? Let me draw it and show you guys what the Star of David is. Star of David is this. As above, so below. Can you see it? That's the Star of David. So it's an upward triangle and a downward triangle coming into each other. So it represents the divine feminine and the divine masculine as one, right? The holy one, the holy trinity, duality becoming one. Fire and water, earth and air, all of the elements combined with the power of spirit. So you're utilizing this powerful sigil to activate the candle. So pretty much when we're carving the Star of David over our intention, we're pretty much like we're calling upon the elements to bless this candle, to activate this candle with this sigil, Ashe. So as above, right? As above, Ashe, upward triangle. So below, the downward triangle, Ashe. Now, if you want, you could take your pen and poke holes in each triangle, like each corner, right? So 1, 2, 5, 6, 7. You should have 7. So all the 7, 6 in each point, and then 1 right in the center. Boop. Magic number 7. 7, the holy number. Okay. All right, so we got that down. Now, what you're going to do is you're going to take the acacia oil, take like a cap full of it, and put it in the candle. Ashe. Ashe. Acacia oil. Ooh, it smells so good. You can even put some on you. Ashe. Now, while we're using acacia oil is a really powerful oil that's been used since ancient Kemetic times to enhance your psychic abilities, to give you psychic visions and dreams. It smells really good. Acacia is also mentioned in the Bible. Oh, it smells so good. I love it. Okay, and so we use this to tap into our psychic gifts, to open our third eye, to open our crown chakra, to get us closer to the divine. So you want to still have your copal burning. So if you want to add more, that's fine. All right, so you want to add some more copal incense. Ashe, 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 ashe. Now what you're going to do now, there we go. Get that burning. Now you're going to take a pinch, like literally take some in your fingers, a pinch of the mugwort, and you're going to sprinkle that in the candle. So, oops, I fell. This kind of looked like weed a little bit. Even if you want, you could also sprinkle some on your charcoal. Look at this mugwort going all over the place. Ashe, ashe, ashe. Ashe, ashe. Now we got our incense burning. We got our candle loaded and ready to go. Now what you're going to do is you're just going to hold the candle in your hands, charge it up, become one with the candle. Deep breathing. Breathe in through your nose, out through your mouth. When you're breathing into your stomach, into your core. Ashe. Activating our energy. Also breathe into your third eye. Ashe. Right. Now that we got that, as you're breathing and concentrating, you want to have your glass of water near your candle. So you got your incense burning, right? You got your candle, you got your water, you got your mug where all your stuff is near you. Everything is good. Okay, now we're going to go to the next step. Let me move this out the way. Okay. Share. Now what you're going to do is you're going to light your candle, right? We already set our intentions. We put the oil, we put a little bit of herbs. Don't put too much herbs because sometimes too much can cause a fire hazard and it causes the candles to start burning black, okay? So we light the candle and we set our intentions. And you're focusing on your ancestors coming to you. You're focusing on your energy that you're putting out to them. You're sending love and good energy to your ancestors. Ashe. Love, healing, activation, energy, power, blessings, grace. Ashe. 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 All that talking, I think I put too much herbs. Look at that. Look at them herbs cooking. Yes. Ashe. Yes, ancestors. So you may see multiple flames, which means that there's multiple spirits around you, which is a good thing, a good omen. If you took the candle magic class, that usually represents like a lot of energies, a lot going on. So the candle flame is dancing right now. Dancing basically means the spirit is dancing with you, right? Popping and hissing means that the spirit is talking to you, communicating with you. So if your candle flame is hissing, popping, making noise, your spirit is definitely trying to make contact with you, definitely trying to come through. Ashe. Now, feel this energy. Just feel that energy. Now what you want to do is you want to say an incantation. So let me move this so I can say the incantation with you guys, right? So you want to hold the candle in your hands like this, because your hands is where energy is at. You even want to rub your hands together, get that energy flowing. Get that energy flowing. Ooh. Y'all may notice some bubbles in your water. That means that the spirit is present. So don't be alarmed. It's actually a good thing. All right. Ashe. Ooh, yes. Whew. So we're going to say the incantation together. Now you can say your own prayer or incantation, but I just, have this one for everyone to say. Ashe. So I like to start with the Lord's Prayer, right? Our Father in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread so that we'll be able to receive others as others have received. Lord of mercy. Almost forgot the Lord's Prayer. Hold on. I feel spirit is, hold on, y'all. That's one thing I hate about doing live rituals is because sometimes I never know what's going to happen, and I do not want to be taken while I'm on live. That will be very embarrassing. So let me just, okay. Our Father in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, power, and glory forever and ever. Ashe. Ooh, I don't know if y'all hear all of this stuff going on in my background, but there's like hissing and things going on. Ooh. Give me a moment, y'all. I gotta feel this energy. And that's okay. You can just feel the energy of the candle. Magic is enforced. So your spirits may be coming through. You may get chills. You may get hot. Some people may feel cool. Some people may get goosebumps. Some people may be vibrating. All of this is okay. Like me just now. Like I just got stuck. Ooh, Lord. Okay. We're going to say the incantation together now. We call upon the beings of light to bless us with the gift of sight, to see beyond the sacred veil and commune with those who wish us well. We call upon the beings of light to bless us with the gift of sight, to see beyond the sacred veil and commune with those who wish us well. We call upon the beings of light to bless us with the gift of sight, to see beyond the sacred veil and commune with those who wish us well. We call upon the beings of light to bless us with the gift of sight, to see beyond the sacred veil and commune with those who wish us well. We call upon the beings of light to bless us with the gift of sight, to see beyond the sacred veil and commune with those who wish us well. We call upon the beings of light to bless us with the gift of sight, to see beyond the sacred veil and commune with those who wish us well. We call upon the beings of light to bless us with the gift of sight, to see beyond the sacred veil and commune with those who wish us well. Ashe, 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 ashe. Amen. And you can say your own personal prayer internally, externally, talking to your ancestors, asking them to reveal themselves to you, your spirit guides. Thank you. So right now, you always want to give thanks. Thank you, ancestors. Thank you, spirit guides, for all that you do. Thank you for your love, for your kindness, for your compassion. Thank you for the blessings. Thank you for all that you do for me. Thank you for all that you've done, all that you do and will continue to do. We give thanks and praise unto you, to the Most High, to the Creator, to the Supreme Being of all. We give thanks, Ashe. We are in gratitude. We are absolutely, completely thankful for everything. And we give thanks unto you. We give these offerings of light, of water, incense, smelling incense. We give this offering of sweet fruit to you to nourish your mind, to nourish your spirit, to nourish your energy, to revitalize you and energize you so that you will continue to be able to assist us at this time. And we ask that you come to us in a vision, in a dream, to let us know who you are, to get closer to us. We ask that we get closer to you. We ask that you get us closer to our higher self, to our God, to create supreme creator. We call upon you, O great spirit, to bless us in all that we do, to open our third eye so that we be able to see the truth. Ashe. Amen. Thank you. So you can add more incense. My incense done. And add some more to it. Where's my copal? So you can sit there with your incense for a little minute. Let me get that there. Ashe. 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 There we go. Ooh. Incense burning, blowing smoke. Yes. Give thanks. Give thanks. Ooh. Ashe. Thank you, spirits. Thank you. We thank you, spirits, and we ask that you fill our hearts and our homes with your benevolent love, energy, kindness, and compassion. Bless us with understanding, truth, knowledge, and wisdom, so all of our days shall be filled with light, laughter, and love. Ashe. Amen. Thank you. So you just want to keep your candle burning. I would say, put your candle, your white candle by your bedside tonight when you go to bed. Drink a little bit of mugwort tea, a little bit later tonight. Give your ancestors their offerings. You can leave it up on an altar. If you have an altar for them, give it to them. Ashe. Give them their offerings and all that good stuff. And thank the spirits. Thank you, spirits. Thank you. So I'm going to come back to you guys. I want to see what's going on here. Turn the camera around. Share. Okay. Ashe. How is everyone doing? What's up, family? We are back. Ashe. How is everyone? How is that for you? So we're going to get into the Q&A. I'm thinking, do I want to do the surprise first? No, I'm going to do the Q&A and then I'm going to do the surprise. Yeah. I'm going to do the surprise after the Q&A. So let's see. Ashe, ashe, ashe. Ashe. So let's do this Q&A, family. Let's do this Q&A. I'm pretty sure some of you have a lot of questions. I tried to keep this class, within 2 hours time. So we're going into 2 hours and 30 minutes. I'm trying to stay on track. But like I said, I always like to leave time for you guys to answer your questions. So let's get into the Q&A. What's up, family? See, Dig says, do you keep that candle lit until it burns out? Yes, beloved. I would always recommend leaving it lit. Just because like you want to keep this candle lit all the way until like the reason why I said let's get a 7-day candle. Remember, I don't know if anybody took the candle magic class. But the reason why we use the 7-day glass candle is because this is more like a ritual type candle, like when it's more than one day. So 7 day is a holy number, right? 7 is the day, the seven. God says it took God 7 days to make the world. It took like 7 is a really holy, sacred number. So 7 days, we're going to pretty much be getting closer to our spirit. During these 7 days, you will most likely notice little spiritual phenomena. Like you may start seeing more synchronicities. You may start feeling the presence of your ancestors around you. You may have more dreams and visions of, deceased relatives coming to you, things like that. So pay attention, because I really feel like they like, especially around the time of like Halloween, you're gonna have your candle lit even during Halloween. Like I said, keep it in your bedroom or by your bedside. I would say drink mugwort tea, before bed tonight, and like if you can every other night. You only need like a teaspoon, you know what I'm saying, of it to your tea, because mugwort is pretty strong. Add a little bit of honey if you don't like the taste, or add some peppermint to mix with it. Okay. Tamika Brown says, "Oh my God, I have chills all over me." Girl, I'm telling you, like when I was saying the Lord prayer, like something, I felt myself getting taken. That's why I was like, hold on, whoa, 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 whoa. Like I had to get back here. Because sometimes when I be doing the ritual, like sometimes I really be getting into the mood and I got to remind myself, like, hold on, wait a minute, you're the instructor. Like ground yourself, focus, ground yourself. Like y'all see when y'all start, like, you know what I'm saying? Like when y'all become the teacher, and y'all start teaching your kids or your students or whatever the spirituality, you're going to see like what I'm talking about. Rhonda Dukes, I'm at work, so can I put it out and light it when I get home and keep lighting it? Yeah, Rhonda Dukes, yeah, if that works for you, do what works for you. Sometimes we have to adapt to our situation. So by all means, yes. If you're at work and you have to absolutely put it out, yes, beloved. But if you can keep it lit, keep it lit. Beautiful Amazon. Can we do this for any spirit we are trying to contact? Like in the class, some spirits prefer you to contact them a different way. So some spirits don't like candles. Some spirits actually like lamps. So creating a lamp with oil, like an oil lamp, some spirits prefer that instead. Every spirit is different. Like I said, get the book Encyclopedia of Spirits. Okay, that way you can understand how to work with whatever deity, spirit, God, Neteru, whatever you're trying to contact. You'll know how to contact them. Some spirits prefer a red candle, some prefer a blue candle, some prefer a green candle. Like this is a white candle. White is more so used for all purpose, but I use white because white represents purity and light. And that's what we want to surround ourselves with at this time, especially during, the veil becoming thin. We want to fill ourselves with light and positive energy. That's why in the incantation, do you realize, family, that I purposefully said, and we want to commune with those who wish us well. I didn't say just communicate with the dead. No, those who wish us well. So any spirit that don't wish us well, that's not the frequency that we was tapping into. You feel me? That's why writing down your incantations, your petitions and prayers, try to make it as specific as possible. Now, this was just like just an idea for you guys to get, like, this is a powerful ritual within itself. But as you continue, you'll get more, more comfortable and confident in making your own incantations and spells. Kimberly Thomas, can I do this on a Wednesday? Yes, you can, Kimberly. Sierra Brown, what's up, beloved? She says, yes, I got the chills. Can you please pin the items I need to get to do the ritual? Sierra, I'm gonna leave the items. The class is gonna be, this whole entire video is gonna be accessible. So if you're here, then you're gonna have access to this video later on. So you can always go back and you can check out the materials. I think somebody else in the Divine Academy group had posted up the materials in a group too. Then copied and pasted. Okay, love? Ruby is purple. I heard it's okay to put it out if we just say it to how much time we're going to allow it to burn each time. Ruby, if you want to put it out and light it back, that's okay. But I preferably like to keep my candles burning. You can put it in like a glass or a bowl of water if you want to. Terry Hodge says, "How? Thanks. The class was very informative. How do we know when the spirits do not want to work with us? Spirits will ignore you, or it'll be like a no. Like they'll definitely let you know. Like when you like somebody and you're not sure if they like you or not, so you throw certain hints at them, and the person either they flirt back or they ignore you or they give you the signs that they're not interested. That's kind of how spirit works. So you have to know how to understand like when the spirit says no, it means no. And if you keep knocking on that door and they keep telling you no, then they'll give you a huge indicator like I said no, damn it. You get me? So that's the case. But most of the time, spirits will just ignore you. And if they keep ignoring you, then it means that spirit don't want to work with you. And it's, no harm done, but it could be, your own ancestors protecting you because you're not supposed to work with that spirit. Remember what I said about tribal enemies. What's done with my altar at home when I have to travel for more than 1 week? Nothing. I mean, they'll be fine. Your spirits don't just stay in one spot. They travel with you. Sometimes I like to just take my altar, like I have a portable altar. Like I'll have like some tea lights with me, a little bit of like holy oil or like olive oil with me, and I'll go to like little the hotels or whatever. Like I'll light my tea light and I'll just say my prayer before I go to bed. I'll bless my hotel space. That's just me. They be like no smoke and no incense, but I still bring my Palo Santo with me everywhere I go. And I smoke out the bed. I smoke out the sheets. I spray my Florida water, all of that. I don't play. So that's what I do. Spirituality don't just stop at your altar. It's all around you. The altar, I feel like the earth is my altar. Like real talk it is. Yeah, very smart. Empress Daisy says, I usually put my candle in a clear vase with water. So when I leave the house, it won't burn out or anything. Amia Phillips, my glass broke. I think I put too much mugwort in it. Do you think, or does it mean something else? Amia Phillips, it could mean that you put too much mugwort. I told, like, you were supposed to just put a pinch, but sometimes it can mean that if it broke at the top, you probably need to do a cleansing before you actually try to channel your spirits, right? So cleansing, sometimes our energy is so heavy that it's a little barrier. It makes it a barrier for the spirits to come through, right? So like I said, you want to make sure that you're cleansed before you start dibbling and dabbling in spirits or whatever like that. Now, if it break, listen, don't freak out. Like I said, cleanse your space, cleanse yourself, light another candle. And next time, just put a little bit less mugwort. So don't be afraid. Remember, fear attracts fearful spirits. CJ says, put candy on the altar to keep it active. Ashe. Yeah, and sometimes, even putting soda on your altar, like anything with like something bubbly, sparkling water, like it keeps the spirit refreshed. Vanessa Walker, I lost a good friend last December. Do you think this will have her come to me? I mean, you could burn some ancestor money for her and, send her healing and stuff like that. Sometimes before you contact the spirit, you want to make sure that they're in a good space. So you want to send them blessings and good love and all of that. And then you can see how, summon them if you want to. Before you go and summon them, and that spirit may be sad or depressed, and they may be clinging on to you because nobody else in their family is feeding them, is doing these things. So you have to set boundaries with spirits. Just like we set boundaries with humans, you got to set boundaries with them. Oh, hell no. Terry Hodge. She says, thank you for your answers. The glass of water we put to protect us while we sleep, can we drink it? No, girl. No, don't drink it. Do not drink the water that you put out for your spirits. Don't ever, It's an omen that you don't drink or you don't eat what you offer to your ancestors because you can get really sick. It's a bad omen. Like I wouldn't do it. Um, you know, maybe some traditions may, but me personally, I wouldn't. Because water, remember I said water is it absorbs energy. So if that water is absorbing negative energy that's around you, you don't want to drink it, put it back in your body. You get what I'm saying? Like you want to just either flush it, put it like feed it to the plants or throw it out in a bush or by a tree, you know, but don't drink it. Don't drink that, girl. Tamika Brown, I love doing rituals with you guys. It's so much energy, good energy. I shade Tamika. I know I felt it. I'm like, girl, I was about to sit here and go through convulsions. I'm like, hold on, wait a minute. Whew. Let me take a breather. Whew. King Montezuma says, when does the portal close? The portal is really open. Like I would say the veil is thin throughout the whole month of October. But when that portal is open, is usually like around Halloween and like the 3 following days after Halloween. Like that's when the portals are open, like wide open. And then like afterwards the portal starts getting like closed again, concrete again. So I would say like probably like, you know, the middle of November, like the beginning of November is when it starts to close. Beautiful Amazon, how do you set boundaries with spirits? Very good question. Beautiful Amazon, you set boundaries by you telling them, you know what I'm saying? Like, okay, listen, you know, this is who I am. I like to introduce myself to a spirit. Like, you know how you meet somebody for the first time, like on a date, and you pretty much just having a conversation. And, you know, you just let them know, like, listen, you know, I read a lot about you. I learned about you. You know, so-and-so told me about you. And I found out that, you know, you're really powerful. And I actually might want to work with you, but these are just some of my requirements. You know, like I'm not the type of person that's going to change your water every day. I'm not the type of person that's going to give you food every day because I have other spirits to serve. You know, I will serve you every now and then. Sometimes I'm forgetful. Sometimes I may forget. You know, that's just me. Like I talk to my spirits like, listen, you know what? I'm forgetful sometimes. I be doing too much. Like I may not remember to give you an offering, you know, every Tuesday. I may forget and give you it next Tuesday, but I'm just telling you ahead of time what you're getting into. So that way you tell them up front who you are, what you're like, your habits. So that way they can be like, you know what? I can work with that, or you know what? I don't want to work with that. You got to be honest though with yourself and with them. That's why it pays to know yourself. Man, know thyself. Because when you know who you are, then you can understand how to tell people or teach spirits or whatever how to work with you. That answers the question, beloved. Beautiful Amazon. And there's a little delay with the chat and the video. So if I'm coming to your questions a little bit late, that's why. Is it okay to have an all-purpose altar? Angelica Soul says, yes, it's okay. But I wouldn't do negative magic and good magic on the same altar. Spirit guides and ancestors should not be on the same altar. Some people say keep them separate because ancestors are directly connected to you, where gods like to have their own separate altar. They're different type of energies. Research, like I said, get that book, Encyclopedia of Spirits, so you can learn about spirits and how to work with them. If there's any specific deities you're trying to work with. Linda says, could you please explain herbs on a candle? It's the only thing I've never done and don't understand. Okay, Linda, we went actually into this more in the candle magic class, but I'll just say this briefly. If you want to know more about like herbs and like working with the candles, herbs is the element of earth. So when we're combining all of the different elements, fire, water, air, earth, like you just enhance the power of your intentions more. Mugwort is a very powerful herb dealing with like tapping into higher consciousness. Mugwort is a very feminine herb, and it helps you tap into the divine feminine, the Akashic records, right? The Akasha is, it sounds like Akashic, right? Akashic records. The oil is really powerful, tapping into higher realms. So when you combine them, it's kind of like a double whammy, like in a good way though. Kimberly says, how much ancestor money to burn? One sheet or two? when I first started doing ancestor money, I used to just burn one a day because it was like the big ones. You know, I burnt one a day. And I noticed, like they always say, in 7 days you notice a sign. Some people, one guy, he told me like he liked to burn one bill for each ancestor name that he called. You know what I'm saying? To each his own. You know what I'm saying? But I saw results both ways. Earth Angel, I'm new to the group and this is my second class. I'm loving it. Ashe, Ashe. Thank you, Earth Angel. Welcome, welcome to the group. Welcome, beloved. Anybody else new? Welcome, newbies. Welcome. Donetta says, can we do this ritual in other months throughout the year? Yeah, you can. You could do this ritual whenever. This is not, like a banishing ritual. This is more like honoring your ancestors and asking them to work with you and opening up the portal for them to come through. The reason why I'm doing this at this particular time is you have a more likely chance of success, right? Like there's just certain times, cosmic times, that you want to work with the energies, and the energies will work with you, right? You don't want to go against the grain. You want to work with the elements. So now is the perfect time to do channeling work, divination, speak with ancestors. Like I hope y'all already started cleaning your house and saging the space and putting down your protection. I gave y'all some practical tips to cleanse the banished spirits, to bring in positive spirits in your house. Some people work with scrying, looking through a glass, looking through flame, through smoke, dreams, meditation. Kimberly says, when mixing mugwort tea, can you mix it with other herbs with the same meaning to ease the taste? You can, but do research on the herbs before you mix them to see if they mix. Beautiful Amazon, is banishing the best way to put down a spirit, or refer to encyclopedia to learn how to put spirits down? Refer to the encyclopedia, beloved, but the encyclopedia more so talks about each individual spirit and how to put each individual spirit, how to call them forth and how to, repel them. Like I think Lilith, they says if you keep like a mirror and anywhere mirrors around, it kind of keeps Lilith away, because they say Lilith don't like to look at her own reflection or something like that. Lilith is really powerful. Some women work with Lilith, but she can be a little bit difficult to control. Some people like to control spirits, but I feel like when you have more of a mutual relationship, like, listen, you don't control me, I'm not trying to control you, we just going to have a very equal, harmonious relationship here, they respect you more versus you trying to command the spirit, saying, listen, you're going to do this, you're going to do what I say. That's what a lot of ceremonial magicians do. Like Aleister Crowley, he used to try to command and control his spirits, and that's why one of the demons destroyed his ass, because he was doing too much. You get me? He got power hungry. So develop a good relationship with your spirits, because you wouldn't want a friend to be bossing you around and having like leverage over your head with blackmail and stuff, right? So why would you want to do that to a spirit? Victoria McKee, is acacia oil the same thing? Yeah, it sounds like it's the same thing to me. It's spelled a little differently. Maybe they just spelled it wrong. Because Victoria, sometimes botanicas, they tend to be run by either like Spanish people, Hispanic people. So maybe they probably spell it a little differently in English, but it's probably the same thing. It should be the same thing. It sounds like it is acacia oil. Acacia oil. So yeah. Welcome, new people. Welcome, Linda Thomas and Quentin. Welcome. Anybody I missed? Tamika Brown says, I was crying. Crying is good. Crying is purging. That's emotions. Like I said, everybody, listen, whatever you're feeling when you're channeling your spirit, it's okay. It's normal. Okay. Some people may cry, some people may start shivering, like me. Like I was about to start stuttering, like I was about to go in tongues. Did y'all see that? Like that was so embarrassing. I'm like, hold on, no, wait. Well, I almost forgot the freaking Lord's Prayer, and I know this by like the back of my hand. That almost happened to me last time we did the ritual. Crazy. Banishing is the best way to put a spirit. Whenever you summon something, you got to banish it. Whenever you open a door, you got to close it. Okay? Always remember that. You open the ritual with prayer and you send them. Like you see, when I did the ritual, I opened up with prayer. I called them forward. I said, I call forth the ancestors, those who wish us well. And then when I was done, I said, thank you for everything you do. Okay, Ashe. And when I clap my hands or put my hands together, like that's symbolizing thank you. Okay, this is done. My will be done. Thank you. I send you forth into the world to do whatever you need to do. So we already opened the portal of communication for them to come. Okay, some people notice immediate results. Some people flames started hissing, popping, going crazy. Some people may notice later on results. Everybody's energy and spirit is different. So don't feel worried if the spirits didn't come to you as fast as you would like. Vanessa says, can you wear acacia oil? Yes. I love the smell of acacia. You could wear it on you. It smells actually really good. Emotions is good. Emotions is just energy in motion. So it means that your energy is flowing. They're coming to you. Okay, so I pretty much answered a lot of the questions. So I'm going to get to the surprise, family. If you feel like I missed any of your questions, I would definitely say write your questions into the group, the Facebook group that we have, the Divine Academy Facebook group. Not the Divine Royalty, the Divine Academy. I had sent out that link as well with the password. Now, if the password was included in the original email. I'll send out another email to those who probably didn't get it. But you have to enter the password and you have to enter your name and your email in order to get admitted into it. So if you don't answer those questions, you're not going to get into the group, and I'm going to delete your request to join. So make sure that you put your full name, your email address, and the secret password that was sent to you in the email. It's the reason why I do that. Okay. So it's time for the surprise. Are you guys ready? All right. We're about to go into 3 hours. So let me just get this on and popping. All right. So let me switch it around. I want to see your beautiful faces. Okay. Hold on. I think the camera's about to open up any minute now. There we go. Okay. Hey, family. My neighbors are a little noisy out there, so just ignore them. But anyway, are you ready for the surprise? Ashe. Okay, surprise time. So this is the benefits of getting the live class. I have a special surprise for you guys, and only for those who are live right now. So this is the perfect opportunity for a lucky candidate who will win, right? Will get a free seat into next class. Now, and I also want to put this out there as well. I'm starting like this new referral program. So let's say, for instance, if you refer three friends or family members or whatever into the class, then you will get in for free, right? For the next class. So I just want to put that out there. I'll probably put that in the next email too. But yeah, if you get 3 people to sign up, so basically what the person will have to do when they sign up, in the notes, they'll have to just say, okay, they'll put your name like, oh, I found out through this person. You get me? And then like you can just like email me and say, hey, Conjure Queen, you know, this is my friend or whatever. This is their name, their email, you know, and these are my 3 people. And then I'll just, you know, put you into the next class free of charge. So then you'll get free admission into the next class. So anyway, that's a referral program. So now let's drum roll, please. So we're going to get into that. Drum roll. Okay, boom. Y'all ready? Ashe. So I am thinking of a number 1 through 100, right? It's an even number. The first person who can guess this number right gets free admission into the next class, free of charge. So let's go. Drum roll. Who's going to be the winner? I'm thinking of a number 1 through 100, and it's an even number. The first person who get it correct in the chat wins. Oh, damn, that was fast. Okay. So we have a winner. C. Diggs. The number was 44. It's an even number, number 44. C. Diggs, congratulations, beloved. You got a free seat in the next class. But you know what? I'm feeling a little bit happy today. So you know what? I'm going to give somebody else a chance to win as well. So now I'm going to think of a odd number, right? From 1 through 100. Let me see. Okay. From 1 through 100, I'm thinking of an odd number. The first person to guess this right gets a second free seat. Another free seat in the class. Okay, let's go. I'm thinking of an odd number. Odd number, 1 through 100. First person to guess this right, get a free seat. Ashe, ashe, ashe. Ah, we got a winner. Velma Harold. The number was 13. Ashe, 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 ashe. 13, which number, right? Lucky number 13. Haha. So anyway, congratulations, C. Diggs and Vanessa. Hold on, let me scroll up. But I said Vanessa. Hold on. Dang, all of these numbers. Hold on, you all chill. Hold on. Let me scroll back up. Who names I said? I know I said C. Diggs. What was the other name? I gotta write it down. C. Diggs. C. Diggs, it was 44. Ashe. And I said Vanessa. Who said 13? Vanessa. Hold on, it's going too fast. Velma Harold, thank you. Velma Harold. Okay, Velma Harold had 13. Okay, congratulations, beloved. What I want you guys to do is to email me, conjurequeen@gmail.com. conjurequeen@gmail.com. Okay, so contact me with your YouTube name so that way I know who you are. Say, hey, this is C. Diggs. Hey, this is Velma Harold. You know, my number was 13 or my number was 44. And this is my full name. This is my email address. So that way I could put you in to the next class free of charge. Congratulations, ladies. Ashe, ashe, ashe. Congratulations, Ashe. So that was fun. I think we should do this more often for like the next class. So like that way there's perks to like doing the live. You feel me? Like not only do you keep the live link, but you also, do the Q&A, but you get a chance to get free admission into the next class. So congratulations, lady. You get a free seat to the next class. Velma and C. Diggs. Ashe. She says, thanks for the numbers. I'm going to use them. Did anybody win the lottery, though? It was like $1 billion and something dollars. I don't really even follow that, but everybody and their mom was talking about it. But anyway, family, it has been a great class. I hope everybody has learned something new. Ashe to the ancestors. Give thanks to the Supreme Creator, to the gods. Ashe to the deities, to our spirit guides who watch over us and watch over us. May we all be protected and safe and filled with love, laughter, and light. And may the spirits guide us and come to us in our dreams, give us visions and clarity, and open up our mind and third eye. Ashe, much of blessings upon us all. Enjoy your Halloween and be safe, family. Remember, I'll see you guys in the Divine Academy group. If you have any questions, drop your questions down. Oh, wait, I had homework. Yes, there's homework. Y'all almost got away. Homework time. So Your homework is 1, to watch the movie Coco. Preferably, you have to do this. Try to do this before Halloween. Okay, so if you have kids, this is an animated film, so you can watch it with your children, your nieces, nephews, or whatever. Coco, spelled Coco. And this is just extra credit, though. You can also watch the movie The Third Eye. No, I put Veronica, but Veronica's kind of scary. If you don't like horror movies, don't worry about it. The Third Eye is kind of scary too, but The Third Eye is really, really, really good. But it's in subtitles, so yeah, it's an Asian movie in subtitles. And the book recommendation for this class is Encyclopedia of Spirits. That's this book here, Encyclopedia of Spirits by Judica Iles. And I would definitely also say, what other books should they get? Ancient Egyptian Magic by Eleanor Harris. Right. All right. And if y'all really curious about evocation and ceremonial magic, then I would say get the Key of Solomon. He has like this different Solomon books out there, but check this out. If you're in the Divine Academy group, then we have this in a PDF. Shout out to Miss Rudy. Ashe. All right, family. And even the book of the song. So that's just some books recommendations that I would say to get for the class. You can find these books on Amazon too for a really good price. Even they may have some of these in the library if you don't want to. Well, I don't know if they do, but they may. Some universities, like I know colleges and stuff, they be having like these type of books. But check it out. Barnes and Nobles, like will let you read books in the store. So check out Barnes and Nobles. Go read them in Barnes and Nobles if you don't got the money, but you want to read the book. Go in Barnes and Nobles, read the book, and things like that. So I think that's all of the homework that I have for you guys. I don't want to overburden y'all. I want y'all to have a good week, a good Halloween. But that's your assignment. Okay. So next time, family, stay blessed, stay protected, and much abundance and blessings to you, your ancestors, and your guides. Ashe. Amen. Okay. Peace.